evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. What a great way to start the evening out with the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the state championship football game.
You know, speaking from experience, when I was a head coach at Bay City All Saints, we did a couple of similar things. And as a coach and as an All Saints alum, I really took a lot of pride in having a lot of those guys come back and their families, their wives, their kids, their grandkids. And I saw the same thing on a lot of the faces of the guys that we talked to and then a lot of the guys that we talked to off of camera. So just to kickstart such a special night, I don't think it could have got any better.
When you look at Bay City Central, first off, I'm going to start off with week one. Made a lot of plays offensively. A couple of things happened during the ball game. A play here and there, a penalty here and there. Changed what looked like it could have been a week one win into a tough but promising loss.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things Coach Freddie, as we call him, talked about a little bit. You know, it's about getting that mentality to finish. And the spunk that they showed last week and not giving up, coming back when it looked bleak, it was 42-14, and it did look bleak, but they didn't stop. And I think that's one sign that he could take as a positive as the Wolves move forward here into week two is they didn't quit, they didn't give up, and maybe last year's team, maybe a couple years ago's team, maybe they would have. So I think that's a real positive for those guys.
When you look at last year's game, too, they were literally within a couple of plays and one official's call away from us. People aren't used to TV, I guess, so they're not really
freshmen.
So, I mean, this team is stinging from last year's loss, which they knew they could win.
Yeah, and I think they've got the right amount of leadership, too. You know, AJ at the quarterback position, Sporman all over the field. He's a kid that you look at don't even need a position because he's all over. Luke Zanotti, who takes up half of the offensive line. They've got some leaders this year that have been together, and what they've really done well, and we talked a little bit earlier, even in a pregame show, was the camaraderie that they have. And those guys spend a lot of time together. They play in video games out at the Zanotti's house. So there's a lot of continuity with those guys, and that's one of the reasons that I think Freddie saw the positives last week and can look this week and maybe start turning these close things into some wins.
Well, that about puts the wraps on our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. We're going to listen to a little of the pregame from the band and that great fight song. We'll be back in just a minute with all the game action on Bay County TV.
When you want to show someone you care, you go above and beyond. It's the little things that make someone feel extra special. The extra time, the extra effort, the extra attention to detail. It can have an extraordinary effect on people.
I'll never let you down. I need you now.
So when you care this much about your family, from the youngest to the oldest, you send them to the place that specializes in extraordinary care. Covenant Healthcare. We make families feel extra safe with a leading team of experts in the Great Lakes Bay region. We take the extra steps to deliver the most advanced technologies and training. We go the extra mile as you journey from diagnosis to recovery. We give families extra hope. Why do more people trust their families to Covenant Healthcare? Because we've proven ourselves over time, across generations, and treat your family like you do, with extraordinary care. So you can continue to do so for generations to come.
Good evening and welcome to Bay City Central as the kickoff is a long, booming kick that'll be taken on the 8-yard line by Flint Kearsley. Trying to come to the outside. Central was not able to make contain. Up over midfield, staying on his feet is number 3, Dakari Neely, all the way down to the 44-yard line. And early on, Jason, that is a tough one. When your outside contain gets pinched to the inside, that makes a 20-yard return go to a 40.
It does, and it's certainly not the spot that the Wolves wanted to start in. But on the flip side of it, they got him stopped. The kicker had a nice containment there. The kicker, Xavier Wilson, stayed back just long enough to slow him up and allow his rest of his defenders, rest of his teammates to come help out.
So on this side of the ball, Bay City Central has got to make it happen, make a statement early on, as the quarterback keeper, the inside backer, did not account for number 11 on the play, as Jackson Palmer comes forward for a gain of about 14 down to the 30-yard line. And Bay City Central did not account for the quarterback on that first play, and 13-yard gain and a moving of the sticks.
Yeah, the sophomore Jackson Palmer there is a good-sized kid, too, for being a sophomore. He's going to have certainly going to keep that front four of Central's defense on their toes.
Handoff up the middle, hit in the backfield by a bunch of Bay City Central Wolves, as Mike Vincent likes to say, a pack of Wolves. Defense led by 77, Aiden Sirianni with the first hit, but he had a lot of company, as that was no gain on the play, second down and 10 yards to go.
He definitely had great penetration there, and again, it's the run-pass option, the RPO, that if you read it right, you look really good as the quarterback keeps it that time.
And the ball's down. This is what we've got, though. We've got flags because I do not believe they were set for a full second before the snap of the ball, so that supersedes everything. There's a dead ball whistle, and they're going to back it up 5 yards. But I could even see from the trips on this side of the field that they were not set, so the timing of that play for Flint Kearsley just was not in sync.
Well, while we have a moment to talk about what opportunity or what option would the official not call it, that if it was just an illegal shift, would the play still go?
With only 6 offensive linemen. Perfectly thrown ball, but it's going to be 4 yards short of the first down marker as it goes to Landon Waters. Great job, Central defense, so that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5 yard to go situation.
Yeah, I know
Right.
Sometimes people will see the illegal formation or the legal procedure and kind of get confused why one gets whistled dead ball and the other one allows the play to go on before they bring it
The
back.
live ball will be if you do not have 7 on the line.
Okay.
Handoff coming around the corner again. Central's defensive backs peek it into the backfield. And I'm looking, I do not see any penalty flags down on the play. They are going to move that ball down to officially the 6-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and goal for Flint Kearsley, as they are just methodically going down the field, Jason, on the first drive of the game.
Well, one of the things that the Wolves coaching staff talked about was getting a better start for their defense. So this is something that they have a chance still to make something happen here and get a stop.
Again, Sirianni with a nice tackle on the play as he pinched down from his defensive end. So very nice job of reading that time as they shut the running back down, and that running back happened to be Jeremiah Brown.
Yeah, on the last play, Landon Waters for Kearsley was able to get to the outside. You know, they're showing some good team speed, and I know they mentioned, the coaching staff from Central mentioned the athleticism being a little bit of a concern.
Again, off of left tackle, number 32, Donovan Harrington, virtually untouched into the end zone. So the start for Bay City Central's defense, unable to come up with the big stop when they needed it on the first drive. But, Jason, we've got a whole lot of football left to be played.
Well, only 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes, 20 seconds come off the clock on that initial drive. But, again, it started on their side of the field. It started at the 47, 46-yard line. So, you know, very short field that they went down on a couple of run plays.
And that thing sails to the left, so very nice pressure that time. L.J. McCullough came off the corner. He may have gotten a piece of that ball as it sailed wide left. Time out of the field with 9:42 left in the first. It's 6-0. Flint Kearsley over Bay City Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we are different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on Bay County TV as we move on here just less than 2 minutes into this first quarter. Kearsley scores. Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Matthew Place on the camera work tonight. So welcome, Matthew. It's a pleasure to have you on the BCTV as Jared Doan took care of the pregame festivities and the 50th anniversary special. We're going to find out now what Bay City Central's offense is able to do. As set to kick off will be Smith.
Another whistle before the kick. I'm not quite sure. It's something we're going to get a... Well, you don't see that very often.
Timeout on a kickoff?
After your score?
Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. They had 12 guys on the field.
So that's just
So
like
it's
what we
not
do
too-
in basketball. We call a timeout just to get our subs in.
Yeah.
This is a timeout just to get our
It's
guy
not too
off.
tough to figure. You got 5 guys on the left, 5 guys at the right, and the guy in the middle is going to be hitting the pigskin.
Well, now that the timeout would supersede or precede the penalty, which would have been for 12 men on the field, and again, not a call that is very often
Well, and I'm going to tell you
associated
what,
with football.
when I'm a deep wing and I'm here on the 40-yard line, I'm telling Coach that before he's even got there. Coach, you got 12. You got 10. That's not something we end up flagging. As that ball hits down on the ground, Kenton Van Dusen trying to come forward. He's up over the 30-yard line with a pretty nice return out to the 33-yard line. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves. And let's see our first look offensively at this Bay City Central team. They've got Ramirez running the ball. They've got Sporman that runs the ball. They've got a road grader in Zanotti. They got A.J. Kazanowski that played a lot of quarterback last year when Sporman went down with an injury.
Sporman, Kyle, last year, poor kid, was a great kid, great athlete, just unfortunately was able to give A.J. some extra snaps because of that as they go to the running game right off the first play. This is, I think, the best part of Central. I think their offense, by far, if you're looking at a grade scale, is by far above where their defense is today. They've got a lot of playmakers. You just mentioned a couple of them. We haven't even got to the wideouts. And AJ can put the ball up the floor, ball up the field. I'm sorry,
Yep.
I'm getting in basketball
Yes,
mode.
and yes.
Yes.
As we look at the spread offense.
And don't forget Benny Facundo out there.
Harris coming to the near side of the field, and he's going to be down to about the 44-yard line before he's brought down. So we got a little number differential here as Harris is listed as 26. Definitely can tell from the running style. He's one of those kids, Jason, that can go coast to coast. He just needs that little seam to get him into the secondary. And we saw during the track season, he's got great sprinter speed.
Yeah, we saw last week, even in our game with Standish and Pinconning, the Bartlett kid, the Sullivan kid, the one thing about them is their ability to hit that hole as soon as they see a seam. And there's no question that Harris is in that same running back mold.
As they put Sporman in motion just to see how the defense would react. Now you know the defense that you're looking at, and they've got 3 seconds. They've got to get this thing off. Sporman coming to the near side of the field. Great block at the point of attack, and look at the finish on the block as Harris just did a great job of taking number 16 out of the play, Gattaca. And he finished it 5 yards behind the play, so that's the kind of a finish block you like. And I'll tell you, if you got a chance to watch Sporman in the weight room this year, he ate iron.
You know, I tell you what, the kid has been eating and breathing and living this game, this sport, for many years. And, you know, it's great to see it pay off. You know, him and the Facundo kid as well. Oh, a high snap.
There's a high snap. And, again, that happened probably a half a dozen times last week. And, you know, to me in high school, the shotgun snap is a risk-reward offense.
Yeah.
And you have got to have your center's got to snap that ball 200 times a day. And you got to hope that he's got at least 195 of those 200 snaps every day that are chest high.
Well, difference is you've been throwing and setting it to AJ now for essentially 2 years. As AJ on a little keeper up the middle.
Great job. He comes down. He picks up the first down. Great stutter step, and it almost looked like he got a face mask, but they must have got him up high on the shoulder. But a great design quarterback draw. He gets forward for 16 yards and moves the sticks.
Well, just talking about it, he's a little bit smaller size-wise. So, when you're talking about the center, it's not like you're going from a 6'5", pro-type quarterback down to him. You've been snapping to him now for 5 weeks, practices summer ball, 7-on-7s. So, this is one of those things that if you're going to be nitpicking, you've got to make sure your snap it's the most important part of the offense. Without it, you don't have anything.
1st and 10, Bay City Central. Again, Kazanowski not able to get the snap clean. Maybe just looked off a little bit as he was trying to make that play, but he was able to make a yard out of nothing. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 9-yard-to-go situation for Bay City Central. 6:20 and counting left in the first. 6-0, Flint Kearsley over Bay City Central.
Looked to be a little miscommunication with him and Sportman, almost as if the center was snapping it to Sportman on the way through, and then it was a little high, and there was a little hesitation. And like you said, you take your eyes off that ball, and it's coming back quick. You don't have a lot of reaction time to go back to it. So it's that dialed-in focus that AJ is going to just have to dial in. If you're going to have action, you're going to have motion running in front of you. Just dial it in on the snap, and let's get it going.
Bay City Central with Sportman in motion. Kazanowski gets a great block from Sportman, able to turn the corner and gets pulled out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So, again, got to love a lead blocker like Ben Sportman to pave the way for you. So, Kazanowski.
It was a nice bounce up by Kazanowski. Sportman, little, again, run pass option there. Doesn't take himself out of the play just because he wasn't given the ball either. I think that's another good sign of teamwork, teammates, and people that are buying into being part of something special.
3rd and 7 right now as they get a play in from the sidelines from Coach Kevin Frederick. And they are in a situation where, I think if they get about 3 here on 3rd down, they put themselves in a position to go for it on 4th.
One of the things, they're taking the play clock down.
Boy, Harris is just swatted into the backfield. Number 5, Brandt, comes in, and somebody whiffed on a block on the offensive line because he was untouched in the backfield.
Somebody whiffed, and I think Harris would have liked to just pull that one out of my stomach.
Yep, that you were hoping wasn't a straight handoff. That was the read option. It'll be 4th down with a loss on the play of 4 yards. And punt formation for the Bay City Central Wolves. As they look to set up, offensive alignment is proper. And we're going to have movement on the defense, and this could be interesting. This could put up a 4th and 5 situation if it's on the defense. I believe the defense made the offense move from where I'm looking right now, and I think that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he jumped in and Luke Zanotti reacted upon the defense coming into the neutral zone. 4th and 6, 6-0, 4:56 left here in the first quarter. They're going to stay with the punt, but you're right. It's one of those things where at least it gives you as a coach an idea or an option. Well, that one is being.
You're going to find a procedure on Central that time because the offensive line was set. Then a couple of guys went down from into the 3-point stance, and they weren't set for a second. So they gave away the 5 that they just got, but, it's a little better angle punting from the 44-yard line than from the 39. So
unfortunately, they sent it to Sportman, the up man, so they gave away the a little trickery there, or what could have been a little trickery.
Fake. Nice high spiraling kick. It's going to hit down on about the 6-yard line. It takes a non-fortuitous bounce.
No, I think Aiden Thompson was on the wrong side of the ball. That's when you want to get as close to the goal line with your heels on the goal line. So if it does do that, you can actually get the stop there. So there'll be something they'll talk about after we go to break, after they go to break.
We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV. So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Cuckolin, or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Right.
All right, back here on Bay County TV as Flint Kearsley comes out for their second offensive possession of the game. Central's motion trying to get to the outside again. Another nice job of getting outside of contain. The Central blockers could not fight through a great offensive blocked play. And there's a gain of about 7 yards on the play.
Yeah, Waters comes off with a good head of speed, the senior from Kearsley. They got some big boys up there for Kearsley on the line. You know, we talk a little bit about the size that Central has out there, but Kearsley counters with some good size on their front five.
Boy, you've got to have containment on your edge rushers. Yeah. And it's contain and then attack, as we're going to have another penalty flag. And if that's coming from the umpire, you know that's procedure on the center or left or right guard. Those are the only three people he's looking at. Most generally, he'll be looking for snap infractions on the center. But if he gets movement from either guard, and that's a big break for Bay City Central, that makes a 2nd and 3, now a 2nd down and 8.
A little bit more up their alley defensively, but this is going to be a big key. I think a big key play right here. They need to get a stop and force a 3rd and long. I really think it would do a lot for their confidence as Waters goes in motion.
Trying to come up, an excellent job staying home defensively. Dalton DeRocher just stuck his head there, stayed home, made a big tackle, and there is a very modest gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 yards to go.
A little substitution here, trying to keep fresh legs out there for the defense as number 65 comes running off, and I'd love to tell you who that is, but I don't have a number for or a name for that number. But he hustled.
Yep. Well, and we just got this roster today, so obviously there have been some number changes. Here comes Sportman right up the middle, a very, very nicely designed flanker screen. And they had Central outnumbered out there 4-3. And the safety was the 4th one back, and he was 12, 14 yards. So great play call on 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Moving the sticks again out to the 42. It'll be 1st and 10, Flint Kearsley.
I think a lot of people see that and they think that's great pressure. Well, there's a reason for that. They want you to think that the middle's open for the defense to slide through so they can set that play up. And they very nice executed play by the quarterback for Kearsley.
Again, up the middle, Kazanowski's got to make a touchdown saving tackle down at the 34-yard line. And these running backs have a great combination of size and speed for Kearsley. And they're taking up huge chunks of real estate right now on the Central defense.
Looks like Landon Waters appears to be not sure where the ball's at. He's in the now he's coming back to the correct side. This is a big stop right here for the Wolves. They really need to find some confidence on that defensive front, you know, from a staff and from a player standpoint.
Pass up over the middle that was intended on the play for Waters, and it sailed over the top of Waters' head. Good defense that time by Bay City Central. This is what your defense is intended to do. 2nd and long, 3rd and long. Force them to come up with the big play. So Central gets the big stop on 1st down. Can the defense build on it and create a 3rd and long from a 2nd and long situation?
And again, with their playmakers out there, you want to give them some time to be opportunistic. And this is the time on 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. But now let's see if they can keep them in. Very nice pressure.
Again, Dalton DeRocher with a nice job of standing up the big running back, number 32, Donovan Harrington. And Central comes up with another big stop defensively.
Well, now we're talking about that opportunistic defense. Now, do you want to send a little pressure? Do you want to, can play a little bit more looser? But the big thing is they really need to make sure they get a stop.
And looks like we're going to have movement on the offense. Looked like the wide receiver, potentially Green, might have anticipated that snap count. And as a wide receiver, there's no reason for it.
I'm thinking that, week 2 we would see a lot less of these mistakes. And we're not playing in front of 110,000 at Michigan Stadium where maybe I could give you the benefit of the doubt. So, a lot of impatience right now, and that's probably one of the things that they're going to coaching staff from the Kearsley staff will talk about at halftime is, hey, we got to stop giving up yards.
3rd and 15. Central can ill afford to give up a big play here. Good pressure coming late. Just off the outstretched hands, but look at the defensive penetration from Central coming from the outside.
Oh, they had a nice hitch and go.
Sawinski.
They had a nice hitch and go up there on the left, and unfortunately, number 7, L.J. McCullough, didn't bite on the first move, and by the time that he was trying to break into it, great defensive pressure up front, and all of a sudden, you force that 4th and long. And now you make Kearsley have to decide. Are you going to play field position, or are you going to try and go for a 4th and, 15, 4th and 16?
Yep, they've got 4th and 16, but love watching young Cade Sawinski because, he's a spitting image of his father who would run through walls if he needed to help the offense move the ball. So 4th and 16, back in a pass formation. They try and run that screen pass, and it looks like Sawinski or somebody got the hand on it. Maybe Jeff Schultz. Somebody tipped that ball away. The timing was off. What a great defensive stand for the Bay City Central defense.
Absolutely. We talked about they're going to need something like that. We were hoping maybe on the first possession, didn't come, but that second possession, they rose up when things were starting to look a little going awry. Let's see what they can do.
I really would like to see early down. L.J. McCullough is a phenomenal wide receiver. He's got great hands. He's got great speed. He runs great routes. I would love to see them trying to get the ball into his hands early and make a play.
I wouldn't even mind something quick to him. Maybe if he's in the inside slot, give it to him quick as Harris is going to come and look to bounce something out.
Boy, there's just too many white jerseys out there as their defensive pursuit to the football was amazing.
It was, and that's one of the things you're watching it on opposite sides, and they stayed with it. I think it's about the discipline of your D end and making sure that you stay in your lane, stay with your assignment, and not try and overdo it. And I understand as a kid, you think you have a crack and you can slide to the inside and you're going to make that game-saving tackle or that highlight reel. Sometimes it's just about staying with what you do best.
Well, and the tight end on this side, too, is Dalton DeRocher. Again, he's another big wide receiver target. We'll see what Bay City Central dials up on 2nd down and 8. There's Jamario Harris trying to come. He dips to the outside, puts his shoulder down. He's going to pick up the 1st down and more as he goes over midfield down to the 48-yard line of Kearsley. So starting to have a couple of seams there, but great vision on that run by Harris.
Yeah, patience as number 5 Brandt, number 9 Brown, and 10 Seiko bring him down. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter.
With our score, Flint Kearsley 6, Bay City Central nothing. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And build
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Matthew Place is doing the photography tonight in our camera work. Jared Doan did a great job with the pregame. And that 1st and 10, they're going to have to wait to move the chains and set things up as Harris moved those sticks on 1st down. Now we're ready to play some football. There is Sporman with a great job of balance as he picks up 8 yards on the play. Nice little handoff to the near side and come back with the counter.
Trying to
get the defense kind of slanting to the near side of the field here, and a nice pickup of 8.
If he doesn't stumble there, he's going for at least another 5-10 yards.
And you don't want to get in his way when it's time to tackle. 2nd and 2.
I just want to see again. You're just checking the defense. So when that slot back moves, it's not trying to draw? Do they want to see if someone's following him on the defense? They want to see if it's man. They want to see if it's a zone, what kind of read the quarterback has.
As Harris gets down close to that first down mark, and I believe he's going to have the first down to the 38-yard line. And they did exactly what you want. The line judge closest to that play says, give me the football. And they're going to have the first down.
Well, you're 0 for 1 this season. We're going to do a little...
If that went where he spotted the ball, and, you know, where it looks now, it might just be short of the line. So I take it back. I believe he's going to be the nose of the football short. I thought that he put a spot down. I don't believe he put the ball down where his lead foot went.
Our chain gang getting a little workout here early in the game, second quarter. You know, what a great, you know, we talked a little bit about it in the pregame, but what a great...
By the stripe of the football, they're short.
They're short. Last week it was the opposite. It was the stripe of the football to the wrong side.
Yep.
But, you know, what a great way, you know, we talked a little bit about it, you know, starting off the game, just having that 1972 feel to, and listening to those guys talk about the culture and what it really meant to play football here at Bay City Central.
It was special.
That's a special time.
Yep. It was really, really fun to see the passion in their eyes as they had a flashback.
Oh, absolutely. You kind of get some chills just thinking about when they would run out here and the place was packed, and it's just something special about this place.
Yeah, they used to put 10,000 people in here to games, so Kazanowski to the near side. Look at him patiently run, and we're going to have a hold probably. When that flag comes at that point from the referee, that is pretty much what you're going to have. It's a spot foul, though.
So he keeps moving it to where the spot was.
Correct.
So
that's where the 10 yards will be marched off if, in fact, it is a hold and not a block in the back.
Well, assuming that they're not going to accept it and decline it, we're going to send it back to probably about a third down and 11, third down and 12 position. You know, you mentioned LJ trying to get him off. I think, you know, maybe this is an opportunity maybe on the far side to give him a little bit of room. He doesn't need a lot. And if he can get the ball, even if you do a quick toss out as he's sitting here near side to us right now, but if you get him the ball quick, he's got that first step, and he can just do some things with it when he gets moving going north and south.
And they've got, after a penalty, you've only got the 25-second clock, so we're very close to the 10. There, and it's going up with 10 right now. Central into their offensive look on third down and 11 yards to go. Kazanowski flips that thing out, and he is rocked in the backfield as he had to get rid of that ball very quickly. He intended it to go to Benny Facundo, and Ben never got an opportunity to get that ball because somebody came through virtually untouched from that defensive line.
Well, we talked a little bit about earlier when they come through like that, whether it's a screen, you kind of want the defense to get penetration up the field so that you're able to get a odd man advantage to your side, bringing it down. And unfortunately, Facundo wasn't able to get it. But we saw him last year a couple of times really make some big plays for the Wolves.
So Central now in punt formation. Legal formation. That ball kind of went off the side of his foot. Karam's out of bounds, and it'll go down to about the 33-yard line. So only about 17 yards on that kick. It's out of the corner of his eye. He saw pressure coming, and he knew he had to get rid of the ball.
Quite contrast to his first punt that he had great hang time in that just went a little bit beyond his teammates' reach, went into the end zone. This one is going to give Kearsley field position at the 32-yard line.
So Bay City Central's last defensive stand was stellar, and hopefully they build off that on this possession.
Yeah, let's see if we can get some penetration here. 61, Cody Wagner's out there as everybody decided to come on inside.
And that's offsides on Bay City Central. They thought that it was jet sweep happening, and unless somebody for Kearsley moved, yep, it's Bay City Central offsides. So
they called jet sweep. They got the play right.
Yep.
They just didn't want it to
Well,
want it to go
and I
off.
think, they're altering the snap count, which is a great offensive move to keep the defense from pinning their ears back. So now 1st and 5 yards to go for Kearsley.
We mentioned earlier in the first quarter that Kearsley was really moving, trying to move quick, trying to move fast. As DeRocher gets blocked there, he's had a nice line on him but got blocked out. Nice run again by number 32, Harrington.
Donovan Harrington, yep.
They've got, Waters comes through with a lot of good speed. They've got Harrington, who's a big back, and their quarterback. We talked about him, Jackson Palmer. He's got good size back there.
And, they're beefy up front.
Oh, yeah.
So they got some guys that are moving some folks around.
They got Braden Weidenhammer now as the quarterback for in the second quarter, as there's Waters coming through on the sweep.
Can't
have that
missed tackle on the corner by Bay City Central turns a no gain into 4 yards. Still good pursuit by the Central defense, led by Sporman as he came from his inside backer position and made the tackle.
Well, they certainly stretched him out. He ran about 20 yards. He just ran, making him go east and west versus being able to turn it up north and south.
Boy, and Kearsley doesn't have to feature a lot offensively. There you go with the big defensive play that time. Zaquan Bell in the middle.
There.
That's exactly what you needed. He beat his block clean on the offensive line, and we've got virtually no gain on that play. 3rd down and just over 5 yards to go. So Central defense does a great job on that last play.
Yeah, this is going to be an opportunity for them again, trying to get their offense back on the field, to get their offense doing a little clicking too. They just...
Again, pass to the outside, and Sporman comes back defensively. But DeRocher had the first back who cut out on the flat, but the slot receiver then filled that spot with a little skinny post, and the ball was delivered on target and on time.
Tell you what, Weidenhammer dropped the hammer on that pass. That was an excellent pass. It wasn't a huge window. He just happened to hit him at the right spot as they go trips to the far side. There seems to be a lot of movement there.
There's another big run, and boy, being tripped up by the 15-yard line was Harrington. And now he's in some pain right now.
I think the turf down there, where he just caught it and went down.
And you're going to have him be down. But, yeah, I don't know if he went to cut and his knee gave.
Right.
It kind of looked the way he crumbled down to the ground that may have been what transpired.
He wasn't going anywhere after he planted and landed, and it didn't move. So
and his wide receiver downfield made a great block, too. He could have gotten into the end zone. So while they tend to this player, we'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout, too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on BCTV as the Central defense comes out. That ball will be placed at about the 12-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Flint Kearsley. And, boy, unfortunately, Harrington did not put any pressure on that right knee when he came off. We speculate he had a knee injury. So instead of 32, they put number 33 in, and that big bruiser pushes forward Dakota Wagner, and he gets down to the 3-yard line, so he picks up 8 yards on 1st down. Well, they just keep pushing buttons over there for Kearsley.
Well, they threw in their, I don't want to call him a second-string quarterback. Obviously they could be playing in a 2 QB system. So, Weidenhammer comes in and does his job. Now he's a little bowling ball himself back there as he tries to dive ahead for the 1st down.
Well, he got back to the line of scrimmage. That was a slow-developing play. And it'll be 3rd down now and a long yard to go for Flint Kearsley as we're down to 7:53 left in our first half of play. 6-0 Kearsley over Bay City Central right now.
It's just looking at between Weidenhammer and Jackson Palmer, that we talked about it last week. When you fall, you want to fall forward. And when you're 6'4" versus 5'9", falling forward means a lot different opportunities for you to get that 1st down.
So they got the first down, falling forward to the 1-yard line. Again, number 33 on the carry, Dakota Wagner.
Another sophomore for the Yellow Jackets. Or Hornets, I'm sorry, Hornets. Can't make that mistake.
No.
They both sting, and I'm allergic to them both. I'm an EpiPen away, baby.
I don't like either of them. First and goal for the Flint squad, and they pound it into the end zone.
The Kearsley
as it is a
nuts.
Flint Kearsley football touchdown. Boy, you look at that again, and that was just mano-a-mano up front, and the offensive line got just enough of a push. And when you got big, strong running backs and you even give them an inch, they're going to fall forward.
It also helps when you only have a yard to go or half a yard to go when you get those 5 guys standing up the defense and the guy hits the gap as Waters goes in.
That's going to be on the offense, as it looked like the left guard pulled early.
I don't see. Oh, there it is.
And that's going to potentially give them an opportunity now to kick an extra point instead of 2 from the 8-yard line. There's no question the first movement was on the left guard. I'll make that call from up here.
You haven't been wrong in the last 5 minutes. Now, it looked like one official, one of the sideline officials, said what you said, called for the legal procedure. The other one came in and looked like he called. So I don't know whose call it is. And
well, what happens is when you've got movement on both sides of the football, as the attempted extra point is no good. Who comes in? Looks like Sporman shoots through the gap. The extra point is no good. We'll talk a little bit after the break about what we just saw back on BCTV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place doing our camera work tonight with pregame assistance from Jared Doan. We got the whole crew going tonight. We sent Nick on vacation for 4 days, and so it's nice for Nick to be able to get away, and great to have people that will be able to step up. Has a great job on the hands up at the 49-yard line by number 14, Landon Beckers. That thing landed right in the 5-hole right below him, and he just cradled that ball. What a great break and start field position for Central.
Well, it's more important he actually brought his teammates up to 5 more yards because they were 15 yards off the ball, and it might have been key for a opportunistic onside kick there had they not moved up, but...
Well, that ball was kicked really hard to try and move 10 yards and get the ball.
A little ricochet and
Central gets the personnel on the field to make it happen.
You don't ever pay attention to the guy that comes into the huddle that doesn't get to the huddle and goes on to wide. There's a good chance he doesn't know what's going on.
He's at least bringing it in. So let's see if they can get L.J. McCullough involved.
Well, I take that back. They're going to give him the ball. Van Dusen
on the side, and there's going to be a penalty.
And
Van Dusen's got to shut his mouth, and the coaching staff does a great job saying, guess what? We just got 15 yards, and we're not going to deal with any of the verbiage right now. Don't do anything to give back any portion of that 15 because that's like a 15-yard run.
That's a 15-yard run. Now, let me ask you a question, just because I always like to ask you the official questions. In high school football, the player gets called for the late
personal
foul, and makes contact in a punching motion. Is it an automatic ejection?
If that's what they see, then yes. Yep. Okay. You don't get any mulligans when you throw a punch.
Okay. Just curious to see how the various rules and the variation of rules plays out.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what. Best field position going for the Wolves tonight. They're down to the 35-yard line. And again, we keep mentioning his name, LJ. We know that he will get the ball at some point tonight. We're going to look like geniuses.
Well, and they're going to have him on a deep pass right now as the ball is going out on the other end and just off the fingertips of Ben Facundo. And again, right at the end, that ball may have just gone into the sunlight there on that side of the field. But, boy, what a great pass from A.J. Kazanowski.
Don't throw it into the sun. That's what you want the other team to do.
Yeah, and I believe that's what happened right at the end. That ball got into the sun, and he just lost vision of it and just went off the fingertips.
Or came from the sun from his standing vantage point and then tried
out
to
of the
find
sun,
it.
yeah.
Well, it was a great route.
Like the call, and I like the route. I like the pass, just unable to finish.
See if the line can keep A.J. safe again, keep him.
What a great job by Kazanowski, changing directions, making a couple of people miss. Steps out of bounds after the first down. And I'm going to tell you, that was a beautiful play because they pulled Zanotti up through the hole. He sealed off the inside linebacker. Kazanowski saw that happen, cut back to the outside to daylight, and had some great running room.
I think the best thing you can as a runner is stay behind that Western Michigan commit. When you see him getting out in front of you, there's a good chance that you're going to have somewhere to run to.
1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves. Oh, I love how that just rings off the tongue. Kazanowski again out of the shotgun. Here comes a little Sportman again. Look at that. He's got some running room, comes forward, picks up positive yardage down to the 11. So he's going to pick up 9 yards on the play. Just getting up a little bit slow after that run.
I think he was trying to pick left or right. He had both options available to him. He had a couple of lead blockers out there. He chose right. The defender chose left and happened to be there to put a little kibosh to the opportunity to get to the first down marker.
8-yard gain on the play, though. 2nd down and 2 yards to go. I would say the playbook's pretty wide open right now.
It is, and the one thing, again, about Kazanowski, you know, is a little smaller. When he gets off and he gets into those running the sneaks and the designated plays, designated runs for him, you know, he can hide behind a couple of those big guys on that offensive line for Central.
Kazanowski behind Zanotti again. Ends up changing directions again. Very shifty, staying on his feet, sniffing the goal line down to the 1-yard line.
Just got done mentioning it. He's tough to find. If you can't tackle what you can't see.
Well, and again, you got the road grader in front of you, and although he didn't follow Zanotti all the way through the hole, they're going to officially call him the 2-yard line. What a great individual effort that time by A.J.
Sportman coming back on after taking a play off, which, you know, I know he needed it, but, you know, he's the type of competitor that says, I got this, coach, I got this. But sometimes it's just good to come over, get a breather.
He's smelling 6 right now. I think he got a little nicked up on that play. He just came out for a minute and got things back in order. Harris is the lone back. See if Sportman does go in motion. Kazanowski right up the middle. He's into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown.
Tell you what, Luke Zanotti was 8 yards deep in the end zone taking his block.
That's exactly. See, when you're down near the goal line, no time for pulling. You just want to sled block. You want to drive your person through to the back of the end zone. And that was textbook that time by Zanotti. And what a great run for the touchdown.
As number 23, Xavier Wilson will come on for the extra point attempt for the Wolves. And we got a guy running onto the field. I'm pretty sure you didn't need to run out there at that point.
That ball was tipped, but it's good. Time out of the field with 5:16 left in the first half. It's 12-7, Bay City Central right back in this football game. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Thinking about high-quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back here on Bay County TV is Bay City Central able to finish on that drive. and get themselves right back into this football game.
You know, they started off at the 50 with a, attempt at maybe an onside, a hard kick, trying to get a little ricochet. They were aided by a 15-yard penalty on the first play and, just kind of took it down. A.J. Kaznowski just kind of kept hiding himself behind the big boys in purple, and the next thing you know, they're in the end zone.
That ball's going to be taken by a big one, because I don't know who wants to go after him, and that is number 34 climbing on Miles Russett, the senior. Says, oh my, that is one that Clara Bell would say, there's the beef.
Dominic DeGenova. I don't think he practices a lot on the return team for the.
Well, he's back there. He must have some hands. He was able to scoop it up and bring it back to the 39-yard line.
I think it gave the crowd more of a good laugh than anything.
It's 1st and 10 for Flint Kearsley.
Well, again, they got 4 out. Now they're going to put.
As L.J. McCullough almost had an interception, had that played perfectly defensively as the pass from number 18, Weltenhammer. Yeah.
I tell you a couple of things. Not only did L.J. miss the opportunity for the interception, it almost deflected into the Hornets' hand. Something gets thrown up and gone nowhere.
That didn't go too far.
Yeah, I'm not picking him up for the cornhole tournament this weekend. Well, that was a little bit better.
Yep, shoves that thing over, but nobody can go out and get it until after this play. 2nd down and 10. Small gap up the middle. The running back on the play is Jeremiah Brown, and he is met by a host of Central defenders. Pickup on the play is almost 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go. As this is another big opportunity for Central. Yeah. If they can get a stop here, they'll have about 4 minutes left on that first half clock. Try and come down and get 2 possessions in a row with scores.
Well, it's about trying to get, I think, some motivation and some there they go. Well, we got to tackle them. There we go.
That is DeRocher doing a great job. Dalton just came in. Again, he comes in, contain, sees the play, attack, finish. That's the uno, dos, tres.
Well, not only that, but it's going to put Kearsley into a punting position now, as you mentioned, just getting close to that 4-minute mark as 4:05 and counting. Well, this is a...
Looks like they're going to have Jamario Harris back, too, and we all know what he's capable of. If you give him one block in some open field, he's one of those coast-to-coasters.
Okay, here we go. I was kind of wondering if we did enough guys. It seemed to be running like a 7-on-7. Timeout's going to have
they're going to have to take a timeout as they were coming down to the last 5 seconds on the clock. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care, from diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
Back here on Bay County TV, another impressive stop for the Central defense and an opportunity to, with a good return here, they will get the ball back with about 3.5 minutes left and see what kind of field position they can get to start with.
Now, number-wise, I believe Central has all 3, and that is not a very good punt.
That one's right up in the air. That one you got to yell, get out of the way, man. That is certainly yell, fire, whatever your key word is. Central gets the ball at the 44-yard line, 5 yards shy of where they started their last touchdown drive.
Right, and I think the thing about it is now can they capitalize on all of the momentum that they just had? Defense comes up with another nice stop, and I think the defense right now has to be feeling really, really good about themselves. And let's see if the offense can't duplicate that feel good.
Well, and I think once Harrington goes down, you kind of lose a quality player in your offense. Now I want to see Bay City Central come back and go back-to-back drives for points here late in the first half.
Well, we know that injuries are part of the game, and really when you have a leader out there, it can deflate you. So
Kazanowski sends that thing out to Sporman, and look at him. He just fights through that first tackler and gets 7 yards down to the 49-yard line. So very nice play as they'll get that ball quickly back, and still plenty of time.
Yeah, a little urgency you're going to start seeing. You know, they're going up to the line.
Tempo. We love that word.
Tempo. It's got to be something where everyone's on the same page. We come out, everyone looks at their arm guard, but they have 3 timeouts left. I don't believe Central's burned one yet, so that's playing in their favor here as it's second down and about 4 to go.
So Kazanowski on the keeper. The defense reacted very well. It's going to be third down and about a yard to go from the 47-yard line, as the defensive tacklers that time were led by number 51, Colin Tola.
Yeah, you know, talking about you need a yard. And I saw this watching the Detroit Lions play in the last exhibition game. They went for it. They were deep in their own territory. They went for it because Dan Campbell said, we need a yard. So you got a couple of big boys on that offensive line.
Oh, Harris has a little seam around the corner. He gets to the outside and gets the first down. I like that call for 2 reasons. You get a good seal block for the first down, but you also get out of bounds to stop the clock so that you don't have to run. But Central's got a little different tempo to their offense these last 2 drives, and they're starting to move the football.
Yeah, so going back to it, you know, it's 3rd and 1. You got a couple of big guys out there. You had Zanatti pulling that one, and then you had, you know, obviously good speed getting to the outside. So 2:22 left here in the second quarter. As that play has been successful right there.
Another nice play. As
chopped down by number 3, Dakari Neely, as was that Sporman?
Yep. Sporman's getting some nice chunks of real estate. Now I believe Central's going to take a timeout.
Well, they're going to move the... Well, they're not going to move it. Yes, they're going to. It's first down. So it's a first down run. It only took off 5 seconds off of the clock, so they get the stop out of bounds with 2:22 left. Get a nice play right there with Sporman. That double handoff. It's going to be one of those times where you're going to get Kearsley leaning, expecting it, and all of a sudden you're going to see it go the other way with Harris, who's not going to pitch it to him.
Yep, you are correct, and so. You always make plays to set up other plays.
Right.
So I believe Central used their first time out. And they'll have 2 left here as we keep it right here.
Well, you know, the one thing, you know, too, I talk about special teams is they've got a very worthy and valuable kicker. So, you know, once you start getting into this range, you don't maybe not get a score. You don't need it if you've got a reliable kicker. We saw that, especially last year in a couple of our games that we did. The teams that had really good special teams, really good kickers, their offense flowed a little bit different because once you got into the 25-yard line, the 30-yard line, you started feeling a little bit more comfortable. You didn't have to tie and dial up that grand slam pass or the grand slam run. You were able to, you know, run your offense, run your tempo, and then if you have to, you got a reliable kicker to put out there.
With 2:17 left, Central's down to about 13 or 12 seconds. I'll look for that back judge hand to go up here in just a second. There it goes. 1st and 10 for Central. Harris trying to cut back across the grain. Just could not get away from number 7 on the play as he does not have a number out there. But if Harris spins away from him, he's running to daylight in the corner of the end zone.
Had the right idea. I tell you what, heck of a tackle.
Well, it was more like hang on for dear life and hope you had company coming.
Yeah, the one thing about Harris, the sophomore, strong.
He certainly is able to make things happen.
Down to 140 and counting.
As that ball is in and out of the hands of A.J. Kazanowski, as he didn't look like he was able to secure that football as he took off forward. And I think he was hit just at the last second. Don't know if he was trying to transfer that to the outside arm or not, but squirted away, and a very tough turnover for Bay City Central.
Well, he saw what we saw up here, too. He saw a lot of green in front of him. It was kind of opening up, and I tell you, whoever reached in there for the Kearsley defense, just enough to jostle the ball, and when you're running and trying to make a cut, and all of a sudden that ball gets jostled, and now your mind starts going somewhere else, and that one just bounced perfectly to number 12, Jaden White, the defensive lineman junior from Kearsley.
They're going to probably have to take their last time out. I'm shocked that they're not down to the 10 seconds yet. They only get 25 of the change of possession, but that 10-second back judge arm just went up in the air, so they'll have time to make that play happen. Trying to go to the outside. Great open field tackle that time by Bay City Central's defense. Waiting for the youngster to turn around. That is number 5, Ben Facundo. You watch offensively, the right halfback at least 2 or 3 times is anticipating that snap count. I believe they're due to get him for a procedure penalty as he's in motion before the snap of that ball.
Tell you what, not only did Facundo get the credit for the tackle, but Kate Sawinski was jumped up there and forced Waters, who we've seen with some pretty good wheels so far, turn some real positive yardage, but it also forced him further back and then allowed Facundo to get in there and clean it up. As Jackson Palmer has re-entered the game at quarterback.
Are they going to get this play off? They just get it off. And that ball's down on the ground. And Kearsley tried to hand it back to Bay City Central, but I think they pounced on it. Now Central's going to want a timeout here with 38 ticks left. Boy, we'll be back in just a minute on BCTV.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here on Bay County TV, Central with 1 timeout remaining in the first half. If they can get a big stop here, they'll at least have a chance to have a punt return and see if they can't put some points on the board late. But a big 3rd and 9 stop for the defense for Central is in order first.
61, Cody Wagner, the sophomore D lineman for the Wolves, looked like he may have jumped in.
Boy, they're watching motion. I don't see even any flinch on that offensive line. It's got to be the quarterback cadence that is pulling them off. And especially when you're a defensive tackle, watch the football.
Yeah.
You know where your gap's at. You're right in front of the football. Just watch the football. The influx of the quarterback means nothing. And again, they tried to do the same thing, trying to get a free first down. Central was a little bit more disciplined on defense.
Jalen Green, number 13, was the man in motion. We'll stay down here with trips.
And that'll be just enough to get a first down over midfield to the 49-yard line of the Central Wolves. The quarterback, Jackson Palmer. And now with 34 ticks left, chains are now set. They are going to restart the clock. And Kearsley's going to take their last time out. We'll take a quick break and be back. It's 12-7, Kearsley over Central. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back here on BCTV as the Central defense comes out to try and keep Kearsley out of the end zone for the final 34 ticks. You know, right now with first down and no timeouts left, they're going to take at least one shot downfield.
Yeah, I think Palmer out there. I swear something. Nice throw.
Down the middle, the ball is intercepted. A.J. Kazanowski with a real nice pick. Stepped right in front of the offensive player and comes up with an interception. Now this far downfield, though, with 29 ticks left, I don't want to speculate because I can't outthink Coach Frederick.
Well, again, we're talking about the amount of speed that they have, and do you take one shot just to try to see what's going on? Again, we haven't had a chance. We saw Kazanowski air it out the one time, but Kearsley's going to play prevent. They got a couple guys already deep that it's going to be tough to throw it past that 25 yards down the field.
We'll see what they decide to do here. It would be safe to say that there's somewhat of a prevent defense. They have got a free safety 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
If you get something here.
Not much there for Sporman as he tries to slide forward. I think that's your proper move in the last half a minute, and Central won't need to get another play up. They'll go back in and regroup at the half, and
they'll get the ball.
Realize they're only down 5.
They get the ball, start the game, and I think if in that situation, I think if Sporman gets for 20, maybe 25 on that, turns it up, I think then at least you have a chance to throw it toward the end zone as the play clock goes down to 0.
That's the end of our first half of play, and our score, Bay City Central is down 12-7 to Flint Kearsley. Real special halftime show here as we're going to honor the 50th anniversary of the state championship of the Bay City Central Wolves. Back in a moment with that and more, and a recap of our first half on BCTV.
Come see the difference at Collier Chiropractic. We are a family-owned local business located in Bay City that offers innovative treatment and care for our patients. If you're in pain, stressed out, and you don't have time for that, taking care of your pain safely and naturally is what we do best. At Collier Chiropractic, we have an award-winning chiropractic and massage therapy team. We believe in delivering the best care and service to every patient. We offer same-day appointments, evenings, and Saturday morning appointments. If you've tried other chiropractic care, physical therapy, or even medication with no results, visit Collier Chiropractic.
Back with our Collier Chiropractic halftime show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. You look at the first half. Kearsley really owned the first quarter of the game, but Bay City Central made a lot of great adjustments and really played well in the second quarter.
Yeah, Kearsley came out and they really did a nice job of dictating what they wanted to do, and we kept talking about how it was important and how vital it was for Bay City Central to come out from a defensive standpoint and get some stops. Well, the first possession, it goes in Kearsley's favor. They put a couple points on the board, but after that, the defense kind of settled in and started getting some stops, started making some things happen, and then it allowed their offense to get some stuff going, which we saw result in one of their drives ending in a touchdown for Bay City Central. But yeah, definitely a change of pace with that Central defense to start with, and then how they kept progressing.
And I think with the Harrington injury to Flint, it really changed the identity of their offense in the second quarter.
He's a big running back, and he was doing a lot of nice things, and he was a guy that you could give the ball to, and you go get 5, go get 6, go get 7 yards. Matter of fact, the play that he was injured on, he was not 15, 16 yards on the run. He was ready to score had he been able to plant and then go. Unfortunately, was injured on the play. But, it does deflate you a little bit when you have somebody like that, somebody that you look forward to, look up to do the right thing, to do good things, and then he goes down like that. So definitely something that they need to, Kearsley's going to need to overcome, and I'm sure they're taking some halftime opportunities to make some adjustments.
A.J. Kazanowski offensively and Ben Sporman were the two players that seemed to get into the best rhythm for the Central Wolves.
They did in a couple of things. The little double handoff, we talked about maybe setting things up and for another play maybe down the road for Central. So, Sporman, they getting the ball, he's getting 6, 7, 8 yards per pop, but we still have to see McCullough. We still got to see Harris. We still got to see some of the playmakers get some things done for Central.
Well, that about puts the halftime show and the Collier Chiropractic halftime show on wraps. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham along with you, ready to go for the second half. We'll see how these halftime adjustments for both teams worked out. Central will get their hands on the ball first, Jason.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if they can continue a little bit of momentum, even though the turnover hampered them a little bit there on their last possession there in the first half. As a nice take by, was that Facundo?
Yep, I think Ben Facundo brings it up to the 46-yard line. Great starting field position for Bay City Central, as apparently they're not real interested in kicking that ball deep to Central and giving them an opportunity for a big return, but they're out over the 45-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Bay City Central.
Well, just like Kearsley's first possession coming out of the game, and we talked about making it a very important situation for the defense for Central to step up. This is a situation I think Kearsley's going to need to try and get a stop. I think Central, on the other hand, obviously looking to continue some momentum as Harris gets the carry.
Yeah. Maybe picks up a yard again. Kearsley doing a really good job of pinching off the corner and not allowing Harris to use that speed to get upfield.
No, he's looking to. He's really trying hard to find that open gap where he can hit through. Looked like we had
2nd down and 9 yards to go for Bay City Central.
I was looking at the scoreboard. It's 1st and 9, but 2nd and 9.
Kazanowski back of the shotgun. Coming to the near side of the field. He's got a shake and bake away from a couple of defenders. He's got room to run now. Turns the corner, and he's very close to that 1st down marker. As it looks like they're going to have him at the 45-yard line. That'll be enough for a 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves.
I'm waiting for the official call. And
we don't need to wait. It's right on the 45. It's 1st down.
We got to get our linesmen, our chain gang moving a little bit. They're still in 3rd down over there. So no, they're calling it 3rd down and 1.
Wasn't that ball on the 45? Now it's on the other 45.
Well, it's 1st and 12.
Interesting.
1st and 12.
Central with 3rd and 1. Here comes Sporman. He picks up the 1st down as he's down to the 42-yard line. So, again, they've run that play 3 or 4 times. I'm almost ready for them to fake that counter action and come with a sweep action because the defense is now reacting to that second handoff.
We got a timeout, little can't be for a measurement.
Nope.
We got something not going on over there. It looks. We both thought it was a 1st down when they got to the 45. I thought the chains moved a little bit. Now they're having a little conversation.
I am 99.99% certain that drive started on the Central 45. So then when they got to the Kearsley 45, it should have been a 1st down play. I believe now that they're not going to be able to do anything but now move the sticks and make it a 1st down. To make that a correctable error, I think you're dealing with a whole lot of gunk. So I think what the best thing you could do right now to damage control is just make it a 1st and 10.
As now the official's going to come over and probably just that way they can relay the message to the Central sideline. That'd be about. They're still staring at it. I'm not quite sure why.
Like I said. So now they're going to make it 2nd down because they said that the 1st down play was
a 1st down.
That's interesting. But it'll be 2nd down and 8 nonetheless with 11:05 left in our 3rd quarter of play. And again, still waiting for that first opportunity where Central sees that the Kearsley defense is going to allow LJ to make something happen. Here comes Harris to the near side of the field, showing off that speed, and a finish down to the 31-yard line. That's what we're looking for out of that young man, as Jamario Harris laid the boom on the defensive back and pushed him forward to move the sticks. Let's see what that play does for the intensity of the Central offense.
Could be the spark that they're looking for, but more importantly, he got the speed, he used the strength. We still haven't got a couple guys' names called, and I'm looking to see if they can't get LJ a little one-on-one action up there on the far side as Facundo goes out there to join him.
Well, they love putting that safety up over the top, and that's exactly what they're doing again. But if they run a crossing route, somebody should get wide open. And again, there's Harris pushing forward, and he picks up maybe 2 yards down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. And the defensive tacklers were led on the play by number 51, and that's June.
Dominic DiGenova, number 50 for Kearsley, was the first one to make contact with him. Obviously, he's known more for his kickback and kickoff returns than he is for being a defensive lineman.
Yeah, he's got a highlight reel. The young man may never be able to touch that football again, so it's going to be interesting to see how it happens, but the Kearsley roster is pretty small print, and our light just went out here in the box, so we're going to have to rely on some serious peeps here in the third quarter and on. Kazanowski down the middle. Wide open pass complete on the play to number 22, Benjamin Sporman. He's into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown.
What a great play. Held that defense just long enough. Sporman coming out of the slot position, almost on a wheel route. Recipient of a perfectly timed pass. What a shot. And I tell you what, again, that momentum, even though they didn't get when Kazanowski ended up fumbling on the run, they were still moving. And that's the one thing that this Wolves offense has been going on. The last 3 possessions have been very positive.
Extra point attempt from Wilson. High snap, he's still going to get the kick off, and he gets it firing up, and it's good. Time out of the field with 9:20 left in the third. Central out on top, 14-12. Back in a moment on BCTV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jared Doan walks in and he says, "Let there be light." He finds a light bulb up here, comes in, does the old switcheroo in a 60-second timeout. Oh, boy, we're back in business, brother.
Now we've got no excuse not to. I would like to before. We actually had a reason why we could have made mistakes on the names, but not now.
Again, we talked at the half. Kearsley owned the first quarter. Since then, Central is really starting to put it together.
Yeah, they have a couple of good drives, and now they're doing it in a variety of ways. There's a little muff action there by number 5, Julian Brandt, trying to make something happen out of a bad situation.
Kevin Brown looks like he knocked out the return man out of bounds, and again, Kearsley's going to start at their own 45-yard line with good field position.
We've seen the Bay City Central defense step up the last couple of possessions and make some plays. Kazanowski with the interception that sealed the first half fate for the Wolves and for the Hornets. So again, we talk about momentum. You've got the momentum. You got a great crowd. You got a great crowd on hand celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 72 team, and now is an opportunity for this defense to really rise up and continue to put Kearsley on their heels.
If they can get a stop here and get their hands back on the ball and continue that momentum, as again, right up the middle, almost a 5-yard gain for the quarterback, Palmer, as the Central defense holds him to a minimal gain on the play. Tacklers were led on the play by Langley.
Yeah, Sporman in there as well.
Second down and 5.
An awful lot, I can tell you that much, folks. Ooh, a little stumble there. Ooh, a little sidestep there.
And again, getting to the outside, and there was a Central defender in the backfield, and that was number 77, Aiden Sirianni. He tried to reach that big paw out and hit Brown's leg, but was not able to make that happen. Kearsley moves the stick, so it'll be 1st and 10, Flint Kearsley.
He was able to do a little bit to Kazanowski, what Kazanowski's been doing to the Kearsley defense. He was able to get a little elusive and a little shifty out there.
Again, very short completion. And a gain of maybe 4 yards on the play as Central flows to the football. A.J. Kazanowski, the first Central defender there. So they're only going to give him a 3-yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 7 with 8:15 left in the third. Central up 14-12.
I think the main thing for Central right now, again, is just to try and win that battle up front. Keep an eye. You got Waters going to come in motion. Make sure that you stay disciplined and stay what you're supposed to be doing. Has a little play action here.
He's got
run.
Trying to move downfield. Again, Central with great pursuit to the football. DeRocher, that first Central defender there. Yeah. Look at Sporman. He just seems to be everywhere on that football field.
I told you. You look at the roster and you put positions, and he doesn't need a position because he's everywhere. He's like MasterCard. He's everywhere you want it to be. Or is that Capital One?
Well, yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
3rd down and 2 yards to go for Kearsley. Kind of running a little mini power eye with that up back. Trying to slant forward, that getting just a little opening. Kazanowski with the tackle, and then at the end of that play, we're going to have a hold on the offense, I believe. That's a big break for Central. It's going to force them back into a 3rd down and about 8-yard to go situation if the penalty is enforced from the flag.
That gives a... Looks like number 52 is going to be the recipient of that, Blake McCurchie.
And again, there's a big break for Bay City Central, and the defense has got to come up with a play now on 3rd down and about 8 yards to go.
And that was a spot foul, so he wouldn't have had the first down where the hold was held at, or called at. So now we're going to go down to 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9.
Again, Central with some pressure, a sling across, and the quarterback had to get rid of the ball. He had pressure coming up the middle. And Zaquan Bell, with that pressure, just a little behind the receiver. The receiver looked like he might have got a little alligator in the arms there because he knew he was ready to get popped.
Got an alligator, I was also catching a Nolan Ryan fastball there as Paxton let that ball go. Palmer let that ball go. He put it with a little zip. He knew he was about to get hit, so.
3rd down and 10. Trying to come out again. That pass was thrown early because Zanotti got through the line and pressured the quarterback, Palmer. That ball falls incomplete. Ball goes over on downs. At that point, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bay City Central Wolves. And the defense comes through with another big stop since the first quarter, Jason. They have been very good.
Luke's not playing every down on the D line, and when he goes in the game, he goes in there and he tries to be disruptive. And that time he was able to get past and shut his blocker. Not only that, but he was able to introduce himself to Mr. Jackson Palmer in the backfield, and we could see it from up here. That ball was going to come up way short.
Well, a big section of the lights in the stadium went out as he approached Palmer because there was an eclipse. He couldn't see a thing but a big choo-choo train coming at him.
That's what it is.
Kazanowski's got 6 seconds to get rid of that ball. He's going to go downfield to L.J. McCullough, battling down the field. L.J. comes up. No, he does not, but we're going to have pass interference as there was some great hand-to-hand combat, and Central's going to get 15 yards out of this.
I personally, as an unbiased broadcaster, I think both players were going hard after it, and I think to me it's a no call.
Well, to me what happened here at the end of the play and where the flag came from is we had LJ coming back for the ball, and that's what was impeded. The hand-to-hand combat, they let go.
Right.
The fact he could not make a smooth transition to come back to try and make that catch is where that flag came from.
Well, with that explanation, that makes a little bit more sense. When you got two guys, and they were both battling, and I enjoy, if you're just looking at the battle itself, that was a great battle, and that was the first time that they got it to number 7, or at least threw it in his direction.
Well, and that's exactly what I think Central needs to do. They need to show that. Coming here on the power sweep, very well blocked downfield. And look at that job by Ben Facundo. Ben picks up about 4 yards, and look at the Central line just continue to push him along. I don't know what we're going to get unless they had something real late happen. we're in a little booth. I didn't hear a whistle. So
I heard
if they're
the whistle,
calling
but
something, it looked like a rugby scrum.
Both teams were part of it, so let's see what the call is going to be. He didn't really throw it hard. He just kind of dropped it. It's kind of a whoops.
Yep.
Put the flag down. We'll get the official call. Well, right now,
and again, from my angle, I didn't see anything there, but the official was right in front of it, had a great angle on it.
Maybe language. I don't know if you call that, but I mean, both. You watch that scrum again on replay. Both teams were pushing. Central just got a little bit more of a push. They seem to have their bigger guys pushing.
That's because
the right
they had
direction.
the Lucanator coming into the pile.
He's a Luke Clips. He's a Lucanator.
1st and 10, Bay City Central. Kazanowski looking for a small seam up the middle, and he is hit right away. But look at him push that pile forward. And we got helmets flying now. As it's looking a little physical out there all of a sudden.
It is
and I like the fact that Bay City Central is starting to make it happen. And now they're going to be looking at Cade Sawinski coming in for a play. So who are they going to switch to quarterback for that one play? Because with the helmet coming off, you must leave for one play.
I'm going with Cade.
All right, they run Cade. Unless they're going to do Harris. Nope, it's going to be Cade. And you're pretty certain that you're going to give that ball up to Harris. Harris makes the first person miss, cuts back to the middle, and picks up 4 out of nothing.
Falls forward. There was no trying to get it, and then all of a sudden getting sent back.
You know, Jamario Harris on his last 3 runs is running much lower to the ground, and he's finishing falling forward, and that was the difference between a 1 and a 4-yard gain. As A.J. Kazanowski comes back,
so just to let
3rd and short.
People know at home, when your helmet comes off during a play, you have to take one play off, come off to the sideline, unless your head coach burns a timeout for then you can get back.
Right, too early in the game as they had a pretty safe play. As Kazanowski now has it on 1st and 10. Kazanowski following the lead blocker. What great defensive pursuit led by number 50.
There he is.
Genova.
Another penalty flag.
I, again, don't know. I can just tell the intensity level on the football field in the last 5 minutes of this quarter has really intensified.
This will be
looks like Kearsley's moving back.
Right, but it'll be a half a distance to the goal.
Yep, it'll be from the 10 to the 5.
Just a little extracurricular, when you hear the whistle, it's the same thing. It's you stop. You play till you hear it,
yep.
And then you release.
And this is huge for Bay City Central because if they put it in the end zone and get the extra point, we've got a 2-possession football game.
Right now it sits at 2 points at 14-12. Just under 4 minutes and 40 seconds left and counting. But you're right. The one thing we haven't seen out of Kearsley has been the kick game.
So Bay City Central sends Twins to the wide side of the field. DeRocher, the tight end, to this side with Sporman in the wing. Single back is Harris. Motion now comes to the near side of the field. Jet sweep action, tried to turn that ball forward. Spinning is Ben Facundo down to about the 2-yard line before he is stopped on the play. And those speakers are not in the best spot for us here as we lose that last sight of the corner. But Facundo spins. You got to protect that football when you spin because you're exposing it.
Right, and he came across, and again, he ran about 40 yards there. He just ran from one end of the field to the other. Got a nice positive gain. Got 3 yards there on 1st and goal. Again, just trying to set it up. You're looking maybe Kazanowski got another sneak. They've been really calling out the sneak as they go to a little bit power back.
Boy, they got a power field right now. Kazanowski, he's down to 3-2-1. He's into the end zone. It's a Bay City Central Wolf touchdown. Boy, power right offense. You follow 3 big lead blockers. Pick your spot. Hit pay dirt into the end zone for 6.
Well, we just got in talking, looking at that formation. We're going there. This is a lot of power back there. And when you've got some elusiveness and some shiftiness, as Kaznowski brings to the table, it makes it a lot easier.
Well, and down there, you don't got to fool anybody. You
No.
just got to get off the football. And they got behind Mr. Zanotti and those three backs in front, and they powered it forward. Extra point is up. It's plenty long. Great job with the hold, and it's good. Time out on the field with 4:11 left in the third. Central 21, Kearsley 12. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV as Central comes out to kick the ball, playing with a newfound confidence in this second week of the season. But you have to finish what you started.
Absolutely. You know, we talked a little bit in the first half about last week they put up 451 total yards, and the offense not seeming to click, and all of a sudden the last three possessions really have. But it's been aided by a lot of penalties. But you know what? Opportunistic offenses take advantage of those situations, and that's what the Wolves are doing.
When you see penalties by Kearsley, though, Central's discipline is not reacting to what's going on out there to get offsetting.
Right. So they're doing a great job of keeping discipline. Yeah.
There's a great kick, and that's going to fall down and have to be picked up on the first hop. Trying to come back across the grain. Central loses contain again. Only one man back, and he's got the sideline to his advantage. Slows him down enough that Sawinski comes back and makes a touchdown-saving tackle. Landon Waters with a huge return. Central losing contain on the kick. Oh, and we got a penalty flag down at the 47.
Send them back 15 more yards, a little right in front of the official. It's losing their cool, losing their mentality.
Now, was that a late flag?
Yes.
Okay.
Came in late. After Waters had a great run after picking the ball off of the turf. We'll wait for the official
Boy, he
call.
picked the flag up, and the flag is normally used as a spot indicator unless the penalty's against Bay City Central and they tack it on to the end of the run.
From what I could see when the flag was thrown, is when a Kearsley player had knocked a Central player in the back. Let's see what it is. It's going to go against Kearsley, is my bet.
All right. Dead ball, personal foul.
So even though it was he threw it where the spot was at the 50, even though the play was down at the 30, 20, 25-yard line where Waters was, so they'll back him up.
That's baffling to me.
I think we just talked about it. Your lack of discipline, and you're losing focus on what you need to do. The play's out of your way. If someone's engaging with you, there's a way just to let it go.
Yep.
You know, you're on a football field.
Yeah, and if you're being held, you got to flail like you're trying to get away, and you draw attention to the fact that that's happening. So trips to the wide side of the field now. We'll see what Kearsley brings to the table here on 1st and 10. A quick pass on a slant, and that is incomplete, thrown a little bit low. A.J. Kazinowski coming up from his safety position to make sure that was not going for a big gain. 2nd down and 10, and Kearsley's a little out of sorts right now on both sides of the football.
They are. Weidenhammer back at the quarterback spot after Jackson Palmer started here in the third quarter. You know, nice arm. He's shown it off a little bit in the first half. That one was just a little bit too low on the throw.
Twins as they try and come up the middle, and again a nice tackle by Central's Dalton DeRocher, but gain on the play of about 8 yards downfield to the 35.
As that was 33, Dakota Wagner, the sophomore for Kearsley, getting some positive yards. Going to take it down 3rd and 2, like you said. You know, it's a big stop right here for Central would just, I don't want to say put the nail in the coffin, but it would certainly, you would be hearing some tapping.
As that pass goes across the middle, and it's incomplete. Again, they tried just a little trickery if they're running a play like that, Jason, and this is just my thought and sentiment, they have got to be pretty certain on this 4th and long one situation that they have got a high percentage play they can get a first down on.
Well, that was what I was alluding to earlier, watching and listening to Dan Campbell of the Lions, thinking and trying to say that he has the best offensive line, that they should be able to get a yard when they line up.
All right, Luke Zanotti is out now to seal on the top side and hitting the backfield. Coming up with a monster play defensively, Ben Sporman shoots the gap and hits the offensive carrier flat down in the backfield for a 3-yard loss.
You sit there, you try to avoid Zanotti, and you forget, hey, there's another guy out there that's been all over the field tonight.
Boy, and I'll tell you, once he gets his mitts on you, you're not going to squirm away, too. A sure tackle driving him into the turf. Another huge turnover on downs and a 1st and 10 for the Central Wolves.
3 minutes, 22 seconds left here in quarter number 3. 21-12 in favor of Bay City Central.
Finish what you started. That's the theme right now. Mistake-free football. They're able to move the football.
And they've been able to change things up a little bit on offense. They've been able to get a couple of different things going on. It hasn't just been Harris with the run.
Harris coming to the outside, and boy, great pursuit. First off, a great seal by Toda, as he was able to just hold Harris from getting to the outside, and he had a lot of company coming to help.
Yeah, as soon as he got the ball, it seemed to be dialed in on him. But going back, they've been able to get Sporman the ball. They've been able to try to get the ball to him on the wheel route, trying to move Kaznowski a little bit, going right, going left. The one thing that has been Central's best offense has been Kearsley's penalties. When you're giving up 45 yards, 15 plus the 5 on the half the distance, you're getting 35 yards of penalties, and
that helps.
It doesn't hurt.
Kaznowski with the 2nd down and 11. Kenton coming to the outside, puts the shoulder down, picks up a couple of yards. As Van Dusen picks up about 2 or 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 9 for Bay City Central as Sporman comes back into the game. Boy, Van Dusen just needed a shake and bake because there was only one defender back there. Other than that, it was going to be a huge gain.
Well, Kaznowski back in, getting the play call from Coach Frederick.
Big 3rd down and 9 situation right now.
Clock's running just under 2 minutes, but again, it's about down and distance. Know what you've got.
You've got man coverage right now on L.J. McCullough. As Sporman tries to cut upfield, makes one person miss, bangs forward, puts the shoulder down. Nobody wants any piece of the action at all. Moving the sticks down to the 49-yard line. 1st and 10, Bay City Central. And he might be cramping up a little bit now, as we're going to take a brief timeout while they tend to him. And he's coming off the field right now, so we're going to keep it right here. He just says, give me a drink, give me a playoff, give me a drink. And it's like he's almost got a cramp. So if you've almost had a cramp, then you feel like you almost have a cramp every play the rest of the game. Or it's just a cramp. I heard that before. And wow, if you've ever had one, man, you're always just one little twing away from that thing activating again.
It's just a...
All right, Bay City Central right now, I believe, is going to be using some clock management, as Kaznowski should be waiting to about the 5-second chop of that back judge to be letting this ball go right now. As Bay City Central up by 2 scores, 21-12 with the final 1:15 left in our 3rd quarter.
Zanotti pulling over.
Harris coming to the near side of the field, making somebody miss. And again, great backside tackle coming across from number 7, Benner, on the play. If Benner doesn't get him, that's 6 points.
Yeah, he had a nice little lane right there. Everybody was doing their job. That was a great run for 2 yards. It seemed like he had about 6 yards on that carry.
Well, and you got to give the Kearsley defense credit, because Benner came from the backside to make that tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, that's potentially a 6-pointer.
Well, they're going to have LJ and Facundo out to the top of the screen. As I said, he's Sporman back in, so usually Van Dusen's in if Sporman's out. Another one.
Wide open as Kenton Van Dusen down the field, cuts back across. across the green. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. Bay City Central. Whoa! Touchdown! Again, setting it up.
Opportunistic, the right time. We talked about that was Sparman the last time. Van Dusen in for the, I don't want to say injured Sparman, this is the tired Sparman, maybe the cramping Sparman.
But the one thing that I do not want Van Dusen to turn around about the 5-yard line when he knew he was in, don't give them a reason to throw a 15-yard penalty on
Correct.
that.
I saw that, and
he's lucky.
He's lucky. He's probably going to petition on Monday the Jumbotron right there. So rather than the Bay City Central Stadium sign, they get a little Jumbotron.
The extra point is up, and it is good. I tell you, on Tuesday when we're back in school,
Tuesday,
he'll hear about it.
The millage.
We've got time out of the field with 15 ticks left in the third. 28-12, Central up 16. Back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. Glad to have you along tonight. Matthew Place doing the filming with assistance from Jared. He's kind of producing and directing tonight, changing light bulbs, doing all the little things to make it happen.
He's a man of many hats.
Again, gotta love Coach Frederick. Some people think, it's a little bit vanilla here and there, but he's setting up plays. You get the tendencies where you get the defenders to peek in the backfield, and that's where he's come up. They've had people in position to make big plays, and they've been able to make those big plays.
At the right time, I tell you, Sparman, now Van Dusen, as you got a penalty flag there.
Somebody's offside.
Kasnowski getting the last touchdown when they decided to go with the power back. They're doing it in a variety of ways. As this is going to be a false start, legal procedure.
And
on the kickoff,
if you really look close on these kickoffs, there is somebody over the line virtually every time the ball's kicked. When they're choosing to make that call, I wasn't watching. I was watching the flight of the ball, so I didn't see if somebody was way across the line. But a lot of times when you've got one official throwing the flag, the other one will do it just representing. He saw the same thing, whether he did or not.
Right. Well, as officials, you want to make sure that you support your team out there as well. You know that as well
as anyone. Yes, indeed. There goes Bay City Central with a mini squib kick. And that ball's going to roll out of bounds at the 38-yard line, so they need to get the first spot. No, they're going to give it to him at the 35. So what they're going to do with that kick is they're going to have the opportunity to get the ball at the 40, or they're going to re-kick it. So we'll find out what Kearsley does right now.
I still got to make the call. Still an infraction.
We're still waiting for word. I believe they're going to take the ball at the 40-yard line. They're going to decline the penalty and take the ball at the 40-yard line.
Well, you might want to... Well, as we say that, big boys go off, small guys come on.
And they're going to make them re-kick it.
Well, the good news is they keep doing this. We may be done with the third quarter by the time Kearsley will be.
They're going to move him back to the 30-yard line. The way Central's kicking the ball, that ball could take some really crazy, funny hops. As one of my favorites in the day was Jeff Beisel would teach that to his kickers. They would kick and kick and kick because they said that ball's not round. It takes funny, crazy hops, and all it's got to do is hit a white jersey and go crazy, and anything can happen. So now you've got Kearsley really starting to move up, and I think if you kick this thing deep on a wing right now, that you should have an opportunity to keep them inside their 40.
Yeah, Waters back there, the speedster for Kearsley.
As again, that ball just bounced right into an up back. And we've got that play over right now as both players just go right straight to the end. But, plus 8 yards on the return, as it will be 1st and 10 for Kearsley, just shy of midfield.
Well, it was a good decision to not take it at the 40. They gain a couple of yards.
Now, how do they get the ball at the 44-yard line when he was tackled by his own player just shy of the 48?
You're asking the wrong person.
That was not a good job by the line judge here spotting that ball.
We also watched
as they're coming downfield. Look at that! A.J. Kazanowski says, "How do you do? There's a fastball coming," and that catcher just gobbled that ball up for an interception. What a play. That thing had 94 mile an hour written all over it.
Weidenhammer reached back, and again, it wasn't a bad route. You just don't see Kaznowski out there. He's kind of low to the ground. He throws it. And I tell you what, he made that play. He made himself look extremely athletic by reaching back and snagging that ball. Thus killing Kearsley's drive.
You know what? I am going to make that call just in a split second here. I'm trying to get him out. I can't make it happen here. This will be our Village Towing key play of the game with that pickoff. What a great job by Kazanowski. I bet his hands hurt right now. He'll have to hand the ball off on 1st down. Here goes Harris, cuts to the outside again, staying on his feet, down to the 45-yard line for a gain of 9. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. At the end of 3, our score, the Bay City Central Wolves 28 and Kearsley from Flint 12. Back in a moment for the final 12 on BCTV.
Thinking about high-quality education with highly qualified teachers and a wide variety of quality programs? Look no further than Bay City Public Schools.
There's wonderful teachers, wonderful educators, administrators. It's a great place to go to school.
We include everybody, and we have a very diverse student base.
At Bay City Public Schools, the teachers are truly there to see the students succeed.
Bay City Public Schools, exceptional opportunities for all. Call us to enroll today, 989-686-9700.
Back here, ready to roll with the final 12 minutes of regulation from Central's Elmer Engel Football Stadium. 50th anniversary of the state championship team celebrated on our pregame show and the halftime show. Central needs to finish what they started, and looks like Central had movement on the offense before the snap of the ball, and boy, that's a tough mistake because 2nd and 5, you got a wide open playbook. Now 2nd and 10 kind of changes the complexion of your call.
You know, just to go back to that 50th anniversary, quick story, talking to Jim Engel before the game, and then we went off and talked a little bit more because Mrs. Kanicki shows up. Her husband, Walt Kanicki, is a longtime teacher and athletic trainer. And he shared a story with me. He said, him and Greg Brayman and another one of his teammates went to Northern Michigan, and they said they dropped from a 10 to a 3 in terms of athletic trainer. That's how highly respected that Walt Kanicki was to this program as an extension of that coaching staff.
There's Harris trying to get to the outside again, and he's stretching that ball forward, trying to get some extra yardage. The last thing you want to do is expose that pigskin and have somebody slap it. So 3rd down and 10 for Bay City Central. You got to be very, very cautious with that pigskin and have 3 arms around it.
That's right, folks. 3 arms.
Yep, all 3 of them. But, you got to really wrap it up. That's essentially what it's coming to. You do not want to have any opportunity to give that ball up right now. You want Kearsley to have to earn everything. Huge play on 3rd down right now. Let's see if they do a quarterback draw. They're coming with pressure up the middle. Kazanowski with a lot of time to throw the football. Pass is complete out there to number 5 on the play, Benny Facundo. But we got a penalty flag in the backfield, and that almost always means offensive holding.
Tell you what, it was a heck of a touch pass by Kazanowski to Facundo, and unfortunately it's going to be negated by the holding penalty.
Well, the thing is, the nice about it is Kazanowski came to this side, and he had enough time offensively, maybe because of a hold, but he had plenty of time to search the field out and throw a nice, soft, catchable ball to a wide-open Facundo, but that's all going to be erased by a 10-yard penalty. And again, I don't know who. He's explaining it to Luke Zanotti.
which could be maybe it was him or
well, he's the
captain.
offensive captain,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably the route that he's taken.
Let him know what he sees out there so he can communicate it back with his teammates. But
that's a big chunk of real estate in possession. So what you've got is the spot foul on the hold, as well as the procedure penalty. So they've lost 17 yards in 2 plays on this drive.
I would look for a quarterback draw. You want to keep the clock moving. There's no reason to end.
Kazanowski, and again, he's got both arms wrapped tight around that ball. I think that's a good move. You hope you can get a good punt and have about 40 yards of field position change. But again, you're going to look back on this drive stalled by 17 yards and penalties in 2 plays.
Well, we talked about how it was hurting Kearsley, helping Central when Kearsley was committing the penalties, and now Central is starting to, they got a little bit of breathing room up 16, but you still got to stop shooting yourself because it's not just about this game. It's about what you're trying to instill into these guys and make sure that everyone's on the same page.
We'll see if Kearsley makes an attempt to come after this kick. They are coming after it, and there is a really nice kick. Backpedaling is the Kearsley man, and he is hit by 3 Central Wolves back down the field.
Aiden Thompson made up for his mistake in the first quarter by slowing him up, getting a nice hand on the jersey, contained him, executed almost as perfectly as you could expect. That's
exactly what they were looking for. That's about 40 yards in real estate from one end to the other. And now Kearsley's got to go about 77 yards to get the first of 2 scores, and they need 2 two-point conversions if they even have an opportunity to tie the game. But Central's defense just continuing to come up with big plays.
Yeah, they have made very big plays at the right time. Kazanowski with the interception on the last possession as a little Palmer up the middle.
Palmer gets 9. Yeah, but you're getting 9 if you don't get 10. Up another cramp for Bay City Central. That'll stop the clock.
And that's the last thing you want to do if you're Bay City Central.
I would bring the entire team over right now, and I'm forcing fluids. It's the second time we've had one, and you've got to it's still hot out there on the field, and you've got to be hydrated to keep from cramping. We'll take a break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
Back here on BCTV, as it looked like number 77, Aiden Sirianni, with a little cramp job. So they just replace him with the Lucanator.
Yeah. Well, you can't see one, you can't see the other. If you can't see them, you're in trouble.
On the quarterback keeper coming forward, they're going to give him just enough push to get the first down. As the quarterback, number 11, Palmer, gets up over that first down mark, move the sticks. 1st and 10 for Kearsley. Kearsley with a little tempo offense right now as they quickly come up to the line of scrimmage. Palmer back to throw the ball, and that is complete. And Sawinski just missed reaching back and tipping that ball up in the air to where there were about 3 Central defenders around him that would have had an opportunity. But credit Palmer with a pinpoint pass.
It was a nice pass. It was a nice catch. And unfortunately, his knees were on the ground when the receiver made the catch.
So now Palmer's directing traffic. He wants them spread out wide. And again, another great run, and they're going to pick up a first down on the play. The ball carrier is number 33, Wagner.
He met Mr. Sporman, as most of the offensive players for Kearsley have on the hard hit side of things.
Still 8:55 left in the game, so Kearsley with the up-tempo offense starting to move the ball a little bit down the field. And again, on the quarterback keeper, Palmer pushes forward, and boy, gets a great offense of line surge and picks up about 5 yards on the play. Central trying to get a couple of new defenders in.
Sawinski will hustle off. Starting to see some hands on the hips.
It's a hot night out. I mean, people have expended a lot of energy.
It is, and this is one of the things that Kearsley has been doing well, is they've been able to get those first downs. It stops the clock briefly, and again, it keeps the Central defense on the field.
As the ball carrier again is Wagner. Absolutely, I zoomed in on Zanotti that time. Zanotti stayed home, made sure there was no counter action or reverse action coming his way. He was ready to gobble it up and just sealed off his side of the field. They're watching that up there, and they understand when he's in the ball game that that's not something that's going to work well for them in the offense when he's there. Again, another handoff and hit in the backfield with a great hit. Guess who? It's just Ben Sporman again for the umpteenth time today.
If you had to guess, there's that big play right there. So now you put your situation as 4th down and about 5.
4th and 2. As they better move that down box back. That down box says, there we go. Now it's 4th and 4.
It could be 4th and 5.
As again, they've still got plenty of time. Back judges not go on up with the 10 seconds yet.
There's a little defensive switch.
Palmer's trying to make something happen. They're going to throw a little drag route, and they pick up the first down with a great inside move as Facundo could not hang on to the receiver. So Kearsley able to move the sticks again. It'll be another 1st and 10 for Flint Kearsley as we're now inside 7 minutes and counting left in the game.
Well, right now Central's got a 16-point lead and 7 minutes on the clock. Those are the two things that they're hanging on to. Definitely a situation as
Palmer's got some room to throw, and he's got another wide open receiver. And as DeRocher comes out defensively, he at least is able to keep him in bounds. Oh, we got a little yellow hanky on the field. I'm going to tell you right now, the one call I'm not going to like to see from the headlinesman, no matter which team, would be an offensive hold. If that offensive hold is called and that's away from the football, I don't like that call. Well, I'm a Bay City guy. It has no bearing on the play unless it's a safety issue with that hold. And I, again, watched the flight of the ball, did not see that.
Well, I can tell you right now that the ball, the release, and the catch and everything else, the flag, where it was at, like you, if the hold's a hold, how often do you call it?
The hold's there, but if the hold doesn't have any bearing on the play, I don't like to see it. Again, running for their life, trying to come to the outside, unable to make a tackle, but hanging on for dear life is guess who? He's not letting go. Great tackle by Sporman. Boy, I'll tell you, he's going to sleep good tonight.
Either that or he's going to be wired for the next 8 hours.
Well, he'll be in the ice bath for a while, but what a great play that time is. Bay City Central's got to come up to the line of scrimmage. They've got to put some pressure on Palmer here on this big 2nd and 16. Time to throw in the middle, right to Kazanowski. Kazanowski picks it up, and he's going to go down at the 47-yard line. We've got a penalty flag on the play, normally in the position of holding on the offense. Kazanowski with his 2nd interception of the game. Wait and see what we got.
Just makes the, in the right spot, makes the right play, makes the right read.
As they talk things over right now, the umpire's talking with the referee. If this penalty is what they normally throw in that position, would be offensive holding.
So you've got one that's holding on to where the Kazanowski went down. Is that what?
Well, what you do is you have the spot at the end of the play, and then you have the spot of the interception.
Yeah,
I didn't see the penalty. It was against Central, but I did not see the indication. So what they feel like they're calling right now is, I believe, a defensive holding against Bay City Central. Personal foul. Okay. So that changes a pickoff and 1st and 10 for Central down to a 2nd down and 2 yard to go situation.
So on the personal foul is not an automatic first down at the high school level.
Only roughing penalties result in first down automatics. Second down and 2 yards to go. Palmer gets a reprieve as Kazanowski had another pick. Trying to go that ball downfield, just overthrown as the central defender fell down. And that might have been McCullough.
McCullough fell down. Neely just a little bit too outside of his reach. Not a bad throw. He at least kept it away from where the defender could get to it. So the only one that was going to get to it was your team.
Palmer wants that back. He puts a little touch on that ball. He just threw away 6 points.
Kind of had a little Matthew Stafford sidearm on the run. You know, that usually works if you're, Matthew Stafford. Not so much when you're a high school quarterback who's a sophomore. He's going to have a lot to learn over these next couple of years. It's going to be fun to watch. This Kearsley team, young.
As that ball comes to the outside, very well-designed play and a great job by the receiver on the play as Green came up and he put a move on Kazanowski, who was ready to make a sure tackle. And Green just got an extra 7 or 8 yards on offense, almost tripped himself up as he got down to the 14-yard line.
The defensive coach down there on the field yelling down at DeRocher, maintaining his discipline, trying to make sure he maintains his discipline.
Again, Central defense is a little bit tired right now. Here comes late pressure, ball into the corner, not well thrown at all, as that is over the head of the intended receiver, Neely.
It's, I don't have a problem with the placement back end of the. It's the only spot that your guy can catch it. So if it's underthrown, it's an interception.
To me, that's a non-catchable football, though.
Right, but at the area that he's going for, 5:21 left here in quarter number 4.
As the intensity of this level, and I'll tell you what, both teams have expended a lot of energy. There's a lot of pooped-out football players on both sides of the ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, there are.
Palmer back. He's got a great snap. Pressure coming from the back. Perfect throw on the play to number 10 as Selko with the reception. And that ball is down to about the 7-yard line. It's going to be short of the first down, though. It'll be third down and a long one.
Sporman on the tackle. I know that's shocking as that may be. But as soon as he got it from his tackle, he was trying to make sure he's got his defense lined up to where they needed to get to. He understands that they're all tired right now.
Quarterback keeper pushing forward with a great surge. Is into the end zone. It's a Flint Kearsley touchdown and a penalty flag post-touchdown. So we're going to find out what the penalty flag is. It will not affect the touchdown because it is a dead ball foul after the score.
So the touchdown's good. Now the score 28-18 in favor of the Central Wolves, pending the 2-point conversion. At least from this standpoint, they're going to be able to set up their offense for the 2-point
All right,
conversion.
so we're walking this way with the referee. The referee's now going to talk to the line judge, and we need to know what the penalty flag is all about. Because if this is dead ball, personal foul against Bay City Central. So now, I believe what they do is they accept this penalty right here, put the ball at the 1.5, and go for 2 points.
Well, they're going to go for 2 regardless.
They look like they're going to take the 15 off of the kickoff and go for the 2-point conversion from the 3.
Is if you can defer until the kickoff.
Yep. Back on the outside, run it all the way back. It's a live football. He's at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. Bay City Central on the conversion of 2 points. We'll put 2 on the board.
Well, you got referee or officials who blew it dead.
I don't believe they blew it dead. If they did, it's an inadvertent whistle, and I would be infuriated as a head coach if you're going to take those 2 points off the board. That's a 4-point swing in this game.
Well, Coach Freddie got the explanation. I'm not sure. No, you had both officials after, as soon as the interception, he blew the whistle and started walking in, met the other official, and nobody fouled, nobody chased the ball down. I mean, because now she could still be running
these
down the
officials
Kosciuszko.
are all going to need to get together right now.
We've had a 1st and 10 from the 45. That was still a second and...
All right, let's see what we've got here. He's going to have to explain this one, and I don't think he wants to.
Still nothing on the scoreboard, aside from the touchdown for Kearsley. Still a two-possession game, regardless of what happens on the... Now they're going to get the 15 yards here on the... So this was the penalty right here, while you're seeing them kicking off from the 45.
Right, that was after the touchdown.
Still did not give the 2 points to Central on the conversion. We did not get an explanation.
And he's got a crowd mic. He needs to explain what just transpired.
Well,
a lot of crazy stuff going on in this ball game. So we'll find out now. Good hands people up front for Bay City Central. Here comes the opportunity for the kick. And that ball is down. Just pounce on it. Don't do anything special. And Central will get the ball at the 20-yard line with 4:48 left in the game. Most importantly, up by 2 possessions.
2 possessions is key as Sportman there recovers the onside kick. Why not?
He's done everything else.
Oh, number 17, Keenan Pate came into the little hit there,
which
tap.
could be a 15-yard penalty, depending on
it's been
because
called.
He's down. The play is dead, and all you're doing is trying to dislodge the football. So they're lucky they didn't get 15 there.
And with the way everything's been going, I am kind of surprised. So Sportman, on the other hand, will come over here. And
well,
grab some
Kazanowski just ran that ball back, and so he needs to go down and tell Coach he's ready to go. He's down on this end of the field. He needs to come back in front of Coach and say, I'm ready to go. And they've got Harris as the single back and Sawinski back there right now. Harris, the ball carrier, again, hitting the backfield and ends up with a yard to the positive. And AJ coming up going, Coach, put me in. I'm ready to play.
I think we should write a song about that. Those are great lyrics right there.
Well, we could make $1 million and retire early. So Kazanowski will come back in again. Right now, the most important thing for Bay City Central is they should not snap the football until the back judge is in the last 5-second chop right now. The clock is Central's friend, and they need to utilize every single second of it on this possession.
It is their best friend right now. They've never had a better friend than Mr.
Back Judge. There he goes, 10 seconds.
And just be patient.
And do not go out of bounds. Very nice. He went down on a knee and, again, hit after he went down on a knee. But very nice job on his part to not go out of bounds. Now we're going to have the Kearsley team using the first of their 3 timeouts in the second half. So that'll bring up a 3rd down play. This is what I would like to see Bay City Central do. I would like to see a quarterback keeper going to the wide side of the field. The defense is all going to be set on the fact that he is going to want to run that football and throw a nice little dump pass down for a huge gain and a 1st down, which will seal the victory.
Look at you pulling out your Wayne Fontes, coach of the decade here in Bay County. Visitation days.
You got to trust that your quarterback is going to make a great decision. If there's any pressure there, just as he did on 2nd down, you want to make sure you go down inbounds. You want them to use up their timeouts. They are not going to go out of bounds. But I think if you can string out the defense and the defense sells out on the run, you can leak somebody behind them that has an opportunity. Once you move the sticks one time with a 2-possession victory, you can just run regular plays, and Kearsley shouldn't have time left in the game to make that happen.
No, that's how crucial that 2-point conversion stop in the interception. Even if it would have counted, we're still looking at a 12 points, so you're still talking 2 possessions. So, but the key thing, like you said, is Sawinski is going to be taking the snap here. Playing a safe bet, give it to Jamario, give it to Kazanowski. Or I'm sorry, Van Dusen.
Yep.
And you know what? They get a quick timeout. 3:46 left here in the 4th quarter. It's going to take a miracle
We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Back here on Bay County TV, Sawinski, the long snapper, and this would be an opportunity to make that perfect snap and get about a 45-yard punt. Central will find out what kind of coverage that they have. Very good exchange. Gets that ball up, and that's going to hit the ground and take a great roll and no return. Look at the job downfield by number 14. Landon Beckers is all over that. And do we got a hanky down on the field here?
They're going to send him back about 15 more as number 12. Jaden White just laid out one of the Central players, so this is going to be more, I think, of a defensive player hit.
Right, and that's going to be the fist-to-fist with the defenseless player. Again, I looked back to see the stat sheet for Beckers, and those kind of hits right there are really, really tough to swallow. And I had one in my Swan Valley Frankenmuth game that I did yesterday. As he gets back up, and I'll tell you right now, he's hearing the bells of St. Anne
and what
as
he's
he took
saying
a
is
shot.
Going to have to go to St. Anne on Saturday, a little confession.
But again, 15 yards of valuable real estate is exactly what Kearsley couldn't do. He went this,
Okay.
Fist to fist, hitting a defenseless player.
Yeah,
and there was no reason for it because the ball was not going to be returned.
No.
And
no, that's just you making an undisciplined play.
You know, and if you do the defenseless player, you can deem that to be helmet to helmet in an ejection. But then you got paperwork. That should be the least of your worries, though. Kazanowski comes back out at the free safety. Palmer back to pass. Here comes pressure from Bay City Central. That pass is completed for an 11-yard gain on the play to number 6, Waters.
It'll stop the clock momentarily at 3 minutes and 30 seconds left as the ball is on the 36-yard line.
As pressure came from Caden Langley on the backside. And again, rolling to the near side, trying to stay away from the pressure. And there will be an incomplete pass. And I want to see what this penalty is all about. Because the umpire throws that ball at where the quarterback is at. I don't know how you turn the penalty down. If you're going to push them back, give them an extra down and make them go an extra 10 or 15 yards. I don't see any way that I want to decline this penalty. I want to make them come down the field and chew up as much real estate. Plus, what are you doing right now, TJ? You're taking your time in discussing whether you want this. What are you doing? You're giving your defense a blow.
Absolutely. Good call. Acted as if you didn't hear the official coming over.
I want a full explanation. Yep. That's very well done, and they better accept the penalty. I think they'd be foolish not to. Make them move every inch of the way they can down the field. Great job, great decision.
Absolutely. Push them back. It's a down and distance game at this point. You know, the clock is on your side. You're down to just over, 3 minutes, 21 seconds. The further they have to go, the more time they have to chew. And it's still a 2-possession game.
Well, plus you still got Kazanowski. Nope, he's not back there right now. So I'd say he's already got a couple of picks. So, again, they're running a little drag route and bring that ball right up the middle. And you'll take that because Palmer just chews up a whole lot of time right now. And look, there's no urgency by the wide receiver from Kearsley to get back downfield and get things set up. Clock is down to 3 minutes and counting. Central up by 10.
Paxton on that particular play, Palmer on that particular play looked like he wanted to slide and it was a little too late, so he just took the hit.
As Palmer's going back right now. Pressure coming on the backside. Again, that's a great play by the defense. And a sure tackle that time by DeRocher. It's just short of the first down, so it's going to be third down. The clock continues to run. 2 minutes and 35 seconds and counting. They're making them take a lot of time to come down the field. Nice completion again. Surround them. DeRocher slows them down, unable to make the tackle, but Central had plenty of company coming on the play. Sporman is there for a change for the first time since the last play.
2 plays ago.
And again, as soon as that ball is set, the down box is set, that clock starts. Yes, indeed. Nice job by the referee.
The good news is the clock has been going. That's even better.
2:15 and counting left in the game. Palmer back to pass. Here comes DeRocher. Pass on the outside, completed and out of bounds, as they're going to have him out of bounds just shy of that first down marker, but he did get out of bounds, so that will stop the clock. So Kearsley right now is playing some tempo right now. I think they realize Central's a little tired defensively and back on their heels.
Yeah, I think right now the word of the game for Coach Frederick and his staff is going to be conditioning. This is a great opportunity to find out exactly where you're at from the conditioning standpoint. As now we're going to have a stoppage of the clock, and it looks like he's going second down, but it's on the 30.
Well, that's not where he had it. He had the ball between the 37 and the 38, so it would have been short of that first down mark. I think the umpire put it down in the wrong spot. Based on where that ball went out of bounds, 37.5-yard line, umpire put it down at the 37.
So based on those numbers, it would be a first down.
Based on the position. But, again, the line judge, where he put that foot down out of bounds was the 37.5-yard line. Umpire put it down on the 37. Where that ball is placed, it's a first down.
All right, so now they got to move the sticks. Now, Coach
all right,
Frederick's
I'm going to tell you again what's going on. Coach Frederick wants the full explanation that's going on. He's trying to give his defense a blow.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very well done.
It's the same thing we do in basketball. Anytime that your guys are a little tired, you can't make a sub, you got a good run going on, you just want to give them an extra blow, always ask. Nicely, of course.
Palmer with a 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Here comes the pressure from Central. Downfield, the pass is complete down to the 5-yard line. Very, very nice throw from Palmer as the pressure was coming from Zanotti.
Waters had to elevate it over the first line of defense and just drop it before the second line of defense, and he did a perfect job. And we mentioned Waters' name a lot in that first half, not so much in the second half. He got a lot of jet sweep action in that first half as he's down to the that's going to be a lot of action. I'm not quite sure. Waters looked a little banged up.
And we had a false start, and what a break, too, because Central was trying to get a player off the field. That would have been too many men on the field, but the offense moved before the snap of the ball. And that's a huge penalty to move them back to the 9-yard line. Again, every time something like this happens, they are allowing Central's defense an opportunity to get a blow.
It's a blow, quick one, whatever. But here's the thing is now this is why we talk about having a kicker, a reliable kicker, because in this situation, you got one timeout left, you got 1:58 left. If you don't score, and we got something else going on now.
Yes, that clock should be running because that was a first down in the middle of the field.
Well, now we can't run the clock because nobody knows what's going on.
This officiating crew, let's just say tonight, has had their hands full.
They have, but, at some point, let's just get on the same page.
Yep. And the Kearsley coaching staff, you've got 4-5 coaches on the field to play right now.
Now he wheels it. Again, going back, important to have a kicker in this situation. Has
a nice job.
Just enough to get that ball deflected away from a nice attempt by Dakari Neely.
And that was a well-thrown ball from Palmer, too. Great defense, and Neely almost made a great play. Second down right now. Palmer with the low snap. Timing is off on it. Trying to throw that ball. It's fumbled on the play, and it's picked up by Bay City Central's big number number 77, Sirianni! Out to the 47-yard line. And that ball was out before he hit the ground. Sirianni rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling out near midfield.
He was given rides. 10 yards for a quarter. He paid 50 cents. He took you 20.
Well, and at this point right now, you can bring your quarterback up. You can go victory because with only one timeout left, they can run out the clock. So at this point, I know you run shotgun forever, but boy, when I go victory, I want that quarterback right up under center, and I want him to go right straight down to the knee. In victory formation, something that they love to do here at Bay City Central. He says, just don't move. Timeout. Coach Frederick wants a timeout. He's got people right now, and he wants to make sure they're set. Coach Frederick's coming out on the field.
Yeah,
He's like,
Coach
come on,
Frederick's not coming on the field. Coach Frederick's going to run the play.
Yep. He's like, gentlemen, this is not how we do it. We do not have motion. We do not have any reason to lose 5. We are going to snap this ball. We are going to take a knee. And the Kearsley team is going to use their last timeout, and then we're going to take 2 more knees, and they are going to celebrate.
I think he just wants to go out there and say, gentlemen, job well done. Now, let's finish what we started.
Look at Jeff Thompson even coming out there.
Well, he's got to give Coach Zawinski a little love, a little hug.
Yep. As the offense, again, the only thing they need in this situation is a good exchange from center to quarterback.
I like him if he's underneath the center in this situation.
One less thing to worry about.
Absolutely.
But that's why you have somebody else back there to make sure that you've got 3 people if there is a mishandling of the snap. Get down. Don't wait. You're going to get rocked by somebody doing that. I know you think it takes an extra second or 2, but it's just not worth it. There'll be a 3-yard loss on the play. It will be second down, and does not look like Kearsley at this point is going to utilize their last timeout. Again, as you cast it up, AJ's going to look at the back judge. You are not going to snap that ball till he's in the last 5 seconds of his chop. There is no reason to do it before then. This is great stuff.
Hand goes up, that's 10.
Yep. And
hand starts chopping at 5.
At 5, now you snap the football. You do not wait. You do not cause any issues, and you go right straight down. Perfectly done. They have to snap the ball one more time, and it's victory time for Bay City Central.
And that's something that Coach Frederick and his staff, congratulations to them. I know it's been, I wouldn't say a long time coming. It's been since last year, but last week was a game that they thought they could have got, and now they're going to end up going back in week number 2.
And I'll tell you, TJ, the thing is that's awesome about this is they are doing this while they're honoring a state championship team where they can show them that they can come to this stadium and see the Central Wolves have a big victory. That's huge.
And the way they did it, all night long, we talked about how they had to step up. Well, what did we think? Defense, we weren't sure what was going to happen. They would give up 6 points on the first possession. As now we have a timeout by Kearsley.
They don't want to take one home on the bus.
You got half your offensive line saying, Coach, go away.
Yep, they don't need a TV timeout. They don't need anything right now. They just need to make it happen quick.
Yeah, but this is a well-deserved victory for the Wolves, to Coach Frederick and his staff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this sport specifically. There's a lot that goes into it. You got a team roster of 25, 30, 35 kids, a lot of moving pieces. It's a logistical ballet. And, it doesn't always result in wins. The reality of it is it doesn't always do that. And, it can get tough on you. It can get tough on you as a coach and the players, and then trying to convince them that there's something to play for. So, they're 1-1. And they're going to be able to go ahead and into their thick of their conference schedule starting up next week and, have a little confidence, knowing that their offense has some options, couple different plays, couple different wrinkles, and what they can build on. I was talking at halftime, AJ Kaznowski, the quarterback, spark plug, little guy out there, does a lot of right things, makes a lot of the right plays, and now he gets to celebrate the victory with the rest of his Bay City Central teammates.
As they count things down to 10 seconds, that ball goes out. As the last 5 seconds ago, and yep, Med Star with the sirens blaring and the lights going off. That's all there is!
There is no more!
The final score in our ball game, the Bay City Central Wolves 28 and Flint Kearsley 18. We'll be back to put the wraps on this in just a minute for a very jubilant Bay City Central crowd.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Back with our post-game show on Bay County TV. Jeff Dodd and Jason Newsham along with you. What a fitting victory on the night that they celebrated the 50th anniversary of the state championship team here at Central.
I just thought the way that they did it and the way that they were able to score and the way that they were able to play and make big stops on defense, it just started to have a little bit of a smell like something special is being cooked here at El Marengo Stadium. And on a night where you're bringing back guys from 1972 and giving them an opportunity to hear the crowd, to hear the fight song, and to see a victory, I think it just all adds up to a special, special night here.
I go back to the end of the first quarter of this game. Kearsley dominated the first quarter of the football game. Central made some adjustments at the start of the second quarter. You started to slowly see that momentum change, but I think Central really seized control of this football game by making some things happen in the second quarter, both scoring points and stops defensively.
They did, and a lot of the things that they had success was they were able to use the jet sweep a lot there in the first quarter, and it was really, once they were able to get to the outside of the D-line, they were really able to keep Central's defense on their heels, while they're picking up 15, 16, 17 yards a chunk. But somehow, some way, they kind of went away from that. But then when their player went down with the injury, you eliminate that big, hard running back, that fullback style that just can, he's going to get you 4 yards every carry. And I think they lost their identity a little bit, Kearsley I'm talking about. And then when that happens, well, yeah, your confidence in the defense starts picking up because now you made them change their identity, lose their identity, and you're getting the stops that you need, getting the ball to your offense. And what I saw was they get the ball to the offense. Nothing happened. Got the ball to the offense. Nothing happened. Got the ball to the offense. Started getting a couple of yards. Got the ball to the offense. Kearsley, a couple of penalties. All of a sudden, they get in the score. It's 12-7, and I just think that sigh of relief, kind of like you're able to exhale a little bit as the Central offense. So a lot of good things, and they were able to really feed off each other for a good balance.
And that knee injury to the running back, you always feel bad when it happens, but he was doing it when he was cut. There was no hit. There was no central hit to make that happen, and he just was cutting, and he's probably done that 1,000 or more times in practice and in games with no problem. Just this time, the turf monster came out, and that knee wobbled, and he's done for the game and maybe for the season.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, any type of injury, and on the other side of it, seeing how they react to it, seeing how the teammates react to it. It's high school football. It's high school athletics. A lot of teaching points are brought out of situations such as, having a lead and then losing it, losing a player to an injury. So there's a lot of teaching points that Kearsley can go back to. And again, I don't think Kearsley's they're a young team. I don't think they're a bad team, and I think their better days are still ahead of them.
Well, and I think penalties were a big problem for them tonight, too, and they allowed some Central drives to continue with penalties.
Once you throw the first penalty flag for an unsportsmanlike conduct or a late hit, you have to keep throwing them because you can't throw one, and if they keep going, then obviously the first one. So it's one of those things where as soon as you throw it, they're going to keep coming as long as you don't give them any reason not to. And that one drive was 30, 40 yards of penalties, and they were late hits. They were unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. It was
undisciplined.
And you're ahead 12-7. So, again, looking back, I'm always, as a coach, always thinking about what you can teach the kids. It's discipline, A, and then B, being able to learn from the situation and overcome adversity and then come back a little stronger.
Most exceptional play call of the game has got to be we're taking a knee. We're going victory formation because that's when you can finally know that you can exhale, that you have got victory just sitting there waiting to celebrate.
Right, and getting lined up into it when you haven't done it and when you've had it done to you so many times over the years and, the different seasons, to being able to do that, it does. You feel like the whole weight of the shoulders, the elephant in the room is no longer there. You're able to kind of exhale, and Bay City Central got the victory tonight. I'm thinking it could be a potential kickstart to something better. Is it a playoff team? We're only 2 weeks in, but I tell you what, getting into the playoffs this year would be a huge boost for the program, and it's something that Coach Frederick has his eye on. But he's also got his eye on week number 3.
As a coach, the energy that comes from the film session and the first day back at practice after a victory versus, oh no, we had another loss, what that does to springboard you forward.
Yeah, kids are coming in with Gatorades and Mountain Dews all excited versus coming in with coffees just to stay awake for film session. So that's usually the first thing, the type of drinks that the kids bring into the film session. But there will be a different energy because when you're looking at things, you're figuring out how the things that we did really well that turn into a victory and what we can do to improve on those. And it's a lot easier to get buy-in when you get the victory and then try to build off of the victory versus trying to convince somebody after a loss the what could have, the what ifs. Well, we can't play the what if game. So doing it after a victory, much easier. The energy level, the smiles, the coaching staff. The coaching staff's going to have a great night. They're going to be able to come in all freshed up and charged up. And again, 1-1. Now they can start dialing in for week number 3, which is next Friday. So this is kind of like an extended period. They get 8
one
days,
extra day, yep.
Which means a lot because I can tell you right now, we mentioned his name 10,000 times tonight, but Ben Sportman needs about an ice bath. He might want to go to the Arctic, for a couple of days because his body's going to be Keznowski. That kid was all over the place. I know he's a quarterback. Love him. Spark plug. He could do anything he wants on the field. He's all over the place. But he got a little banged up there at the end, so a lot of these guys are going to enjoy that extra day.
That about puts the wrap on a great big Central victory here in Week 2. On behalf of the whole crew, I'm Jeff Doan along with Jason Newsom. Great job tonight, Matthew Place, assisted by Jared Doan. He did it all. Pre-game tonight, light bulb changing. He made it all happen. Thanks, big guy, for your efforts. Have a great night. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.